Ryan, don't cut this. They're holding me against my will again. Please, somebody help. Just kidding. Christmas, Easter, and Thanksgiving. So it's
now what we do for our team and staff is Thanksgiving's Thursday. We do close Friday and Saturday.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? To give everybody a little bit of, our team and staff, a little something to breathe and us as well. So, but other than that, we're game on.
Well, and I think it's the same kind of thing for us too. I think even more so for you guys is like, you guys have to like be available. I feel like because fitness in general, and for a lot of people, fitness is something that's built into the routine and habit. And as soon as you lose access or feel like you lose access, you can go right off the cliff with it.
Or the gym hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, they're not open here. We're going to go down to this place that's $9.99 and we're going to go in there and we're going to do our thing.
Right.
So, for the group fitness and the experience we provide and, the different chart, there's gyms everywhere now for $10.
Yeah, right.
What do you get for, the $99, the $149? Well, we're open on the holidays. That's for darn sure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
We make a lot of the same decisions in the sense of not being closed on certain days. And we're at the point now where we give like, we're closed Christmas Eve and we close early on some holidays to try and give.
We're not closed Christmas Eve.
Or not close. Sorry, we close early on Christmas Eve. Sorry, and we try and give like close early on some holidays here and there. But like Thomas said, it's like we're only closed 3 days a year, like legitimately, not like we're open on Saturdays, Sundays every single week.
Right.
And we're trying to do it more for the staff, especially because we have more staff now. When it was just me, it's like, I can work those days. Right. Like I can put myself through that. But in the same sense of when we first started having to make those decisions, I was legitimately calling other supplement stores and asking when they were open, because it's like, if a customer comes to our store and we're closed and they need something, they might go somewhere else. And that might become their more regular
they go
spot.
in there, they have a good experience, brother, and something's $1 less. And then you lose your person and they tell two friends and so on and so forth. And that's the way of the commerce world. You know what I mean? And the main thing I'd love to say, on those holidays, we staff it out, but they want to see the big dog when it's, they want to see me there with a good message on their holiday. And I like to do that. But, as I get older and I've got children and stuff, I see myself kind of giving those Christmas Eve workouts away and letting my staff, I've got such a good staff and team that I trust 100%. I've never had a better staff. I've been doing this for 13 years. And right now, the team that I have, the trainers that I have, the vibe that we have, the trust that we have for each other, it's so easy, especially in the fitness community and trainers in general, to do this. You know what I mean? And the little pokes and the little thing and the little ego. Right now, dude, I've never, ever had a team that loves each other the way we do and has each other's back. And for that, I just couldn't be more grateful.
That's such a rare thing too, man.
I had to kiss a lot of frogs, bro. I had to kiss a lot of frogs to get those princes. I promise you that, bro.
Do you tend to hire people more based off their potential than their stature or their what they're worth at face value?
I have never had good success hiring a trainer from outside of our community. They've got their own ego. They've got their own agenda. They've got their own way of doing things. They've got their own plan. We always hire really good members that have bought in to our community, that have bought into our plan, that, I don't need you to be NASM certified. I need you to come here for a year and understand what I'm doing, understand our vibe and our culture. I need you to be Shawn Busby certified. I need you to be FitCamp 180 certified. And, Tony Robbins always says, hire slow and fire fast. I can tell in 5 minutes, bro, if we're going to give this thing a shot or not. You come in, sat down, because I've trained you for over a year.
Right.
I know how you vibe. I know how you talk. I know, I watch you on social media. I see how you work out, how you communicate with the other people. Yeah. I don't have a cold call coming in with his resume that trains at Golds. I don't do that.
Right. So sounds familiar. Sounds like it's traditionally how we hire people too. It's people who appreciate what we're already doing.
Absolutely.
You come to Triad and you appreciate Triad because of what we're doing. So then when you want to be a part of something, it's like, Well, it all makes sense for everybody.
Absolutely.
Already a customer. And I think in that sense, man, you are hiring slow of like in the sense of like,
right.
You start hiring potentially the moment that they become a member.
Right.
That's kind of your pool of where you're bringing on as you spent 2 years getting to know this person before you're even bringing them in for an interview to potentially work with you. So,
and you know, some of my best trainers have got great transformations, and they're so grateful for what FitCamp 180 did for them that they give back to it, and they're helping with those other transformations. And God, I could just go on this whole podcast about just loving like Jordan Wright, Sarah Mixon, Valid Mendez, Sarah Martin. I have a team and staff that loves me and has my back. And again, a lot of frogs, bro.
That's like Thomas said, very, very similar to how we do things is we don't need you to be NASM certified. Our staff is, but that's,
we do that after the fact.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Is that's somewhat of the easy part and not that the NASM certification is easy, but like relatively like we can get anybody NASM certified and we bring people on for their potential because we can take you through the training, we can get you certified, we can do all that. We want to find the people that are genuinely good people in the first place. We've gotten to know you. We know you're a good person because you've been a customer with us. You appreciate what we do. You understand what we do. And then we can morph you into somebody that can work the floor.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Well, we probably should introduce you because Ryan will probably pull this because this has been
good already. Yeah,
right. Exactly.
This is going to be cool, man. I can already tell.
It's always a fun time.
Well,
man.
I haven't got to know you as well, Thomas, but before we even get started, it's an honor to be on here, dude. I love you, Kevin, and I've said this at least the 50th time I've said it, but for somebody to be so plugged into every fitness community, like everybody's got their own supplement guy or whatever, but all that you do for Coda and True Grit and Burn and F45 and everybody that you're partnered with, like you don't have favorites. I've never heard you say a bad thing about anybody. Your reputation in the fitness and nutrition community is impeccable. And so it's an honor to be on here. I really, I'm careful about the people I brag on and talk well of and let in my circle and do podcasts with or whatever, but it's an honor to be on. I think the world of you, man.
Well, dude, it's an honor to have you, man. We've gotten the pleasure of having some really cool guests, a lot of guests that I didn't think would ever have any interest in joining us for the podcast. And you being one of them, man, we're really excited to talk to you and to introduce you, man, to everybody that's listening. This is Shawn Busby. He is the owner, founder of FitCamp 180. You are obviously primarily over the Edmond location, but you guys have 3 locations in the metro area now. And I know big dreams. So,
yes.
Man, I know FitCamp 180 produces transformation after transformation. Man, I know I've known a ton of people that go to FitCamp 180, especially now because we are right next door to one of your locations.
Yes.
But man, the amount of people that we've even just seen in the store, especially because I worked at our Quail Springs store that's close to the Edmond location for you guys for 5 years. The amount of people that I had coming in the store and talking highly and just pumped about FitCamp 180 is you are a big part to the fitness community here in Oklahoma City yourself, man.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Well, I tell you, and I would always start with this, anything that I have done good or that is good about me is all because of the radical grace of Jesus Christ. And I am, my story, the way we got here to 3 locations is not this, he fell in love with fitness and just made it happen. That is not the story, bro. I got my door kicked in 2008 and I was facing 30 years of federal prison.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was being federally indicted. My best friend was a lead burglary homicide detective. And, I had went through this horrible divorce. I had a bad drug problem. I was an intravenous methamphetamine addict. And I had I DJ'd at a strip club and I sold the meth to the strippers. And I had, he would go to the evidence locker and come to my house and every sin, bro, every sin, every pill, every drug, money, diamonds, guns, flak jackets, there's nothing we didn't have. And I was on my way to hell, like really, really bad. And the date was 6/7/8. And somebody knocked on my door and I looked through the peephole. Nobody knocked on my door at 9 a.m. Undies on. And I looked through the peephole and it was a cute girl. Now, this is not the first time a cute girl would come to my door knocking on it. So I thought everything was okay. And she goes, Shawn? I was like, yeah, it's me. And I opened, and then she said, Shawn Busby. Now, nobody said my two names together, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and they kicked that door in. And when she threw me to the ground, this little girl threw me to the ground.
I was going to ask, was it her?
Bro, she did. You got to realize, okay, now I'm drugged up. I weigh about 160, 165 pounds. I haven't even worked out yet. But she threw me to the ground. And the first thing I said was, Jesus, help me. And she was so mean. She was so cute. And she was so mean. She goes, what'd you say, punk? Oh, what'd you say? And I was like, Jesus, help me. And she got real close where nobody else could hear. And she goes, I think he is right now. And I banked on that, man. And, after that, that made the news. I was running with a dirty cop. You know what I mean? This made the news. I lost everything. And my grandma saw that. My pastor saw that, which I hadn't been to church in a while. Everybody I went to high school with, like primetime news. This is before social media really in 2008. But it made the primetime news morning, noon, and night for like 2 weeks, mugshot on there. And I had so much guilt and so much shame, but God knew that's what I needed to get out of Tulsa. I needed something that was shameful and painful enough. And bro, I knew I needed to leave. I didn't have no money to leave. I spent all my money on bonding out of jail and attorneys, and a hail damage check that I'd filed 6 months ago came to my mom's house. I was sleeping on my mom's couch for $272. I took that $272, okay, and I did a full geographic change. I filled my Pathfinder up with gas, and I drove to Oklahoma City from Tulsa, and I just drove, and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have a map. I didn't have an iPhone, but I went to the Econo Lodge next to Frontier City because I figured if I got lost, I could ask somebody where the rides are, and I could find my way there. And I hit my knees in that little hotel room. I paid the weekly rate. I hit my knees and I said, God, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm scared. I don't have a phone. I don't have any friends. I don't have anything. I got like $198 to my name. What do you want me to do? And I was crying, and I got up. And after the drugs and the meth and everything, I ate everything. I was big and shiny at this point. And I looked, and there was just this crate of stuff I had. And there was a pair of tennis shoes and an iPod Shuffle. Do you remember when iPods were a stick?
Yeah,
it was a stick, that old school Shuffle. And I just knew there wasn't an audible voice or anything, but I knew I was supposed to get out and run. My dad jogged. He ran the Tulsa Run every year and, went topless everywhere and wore a Speedo to Big Splash till I was 16 years old. That's a whole nother podcast. Okay. But I knew, man, my dad ran and my dad worked out, and I felt all this energy and pent up. I didn't know what to do. So I just took off and I took off. I wanted to get to where I could run a mile. And then I got to where I could run too. And my iPod Shuffle, my grandma Florence gave me that iPod, and it was loaded with nothing but worship music. And so I'm out there running, I'd love to listen to gangster rap or rock, but it's loaded with like worship music. Imagine, I can only imagine, and all those early 2000 worship songs. And I just took off running, and I started to pray, and I kept saying, God, what do you want now? What do I do now? Now I'm jogging. I can run 3 miles. I got a job waiting tables. Like I'm waiting for this revelation. God, please keep me out of prison. What do you want me to do now? And I kept hearing him say, I think you can go faster. I think you can go further. No, I think you can drive harder. And I had this little voice that just keep on pushing. And now remind you, I'm in court still being federally indicted.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. That's going on for this whole year.
You're still not even sure what the outcome is.
And that's I hit crazy. My knees. I at this point, I'd got a little apartment in Norman. I found a girl at a Western Union, and she couldn't pay her rent, and I took over the lease. That's another podcast. and I hit my knees on this jog, and I said, God, listen, if you'll keep me out of prison, I don't care what I do, I will tell everybody I can about you. And I got up, and I was crying, and I got up, and I kept jogging, and no more than 20 yards later, in that sidewalk, somebody, when the cement was drying, had written, Jesus saves. And right there, I had a peace about me, and I said, okay, And you know, FitCamp 180 is me keeping my end of that bargain. If I was a plumber, I was going to fix your toilet and tell you how good God was. If I was a mover, which I would never be a mover or a plumber, two things I will never do in this world. If I'm going to move your stuff when I'm done, I want to say, hey, God bless you. This is how Jesus saved me. And you know, I got to run in and I made a New Year's resolution, okay, from 08 going into 09. I read in my Runner's World magazine that you should complement your run with some kind of resistance training. And so I made a New Year's resolution. I was going to work out at least 4 days a week from here on out. And I've kept to that other than injury or crazy situation. My fitness is a New Year's resolution, my resistance training and my weight training. And man, I lost like 50, 60 pounds. And I got out of the shower and I'm jogging everywhere. I'm waiting tables and bartending, and I twisted. I had to twist, Thomas, but I twisted in the mirror. And I could see a 6-pack dog. I could see it, bro. And I was like, oh my God. I was like calling my mom. I was like, I got abs. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Again, it wasn't an audible voice. It was like, this is what I want you to do. I want you to help other people love this. You know, I would wake up and Google new places to run, men's health, cool workouts. I didn't have a trainer. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to go hard, bro, because it made me feel good up here. And so I got NASM certified. I took the test in under 60 days, made a 90 something on it. And I started personally training waiters and waitresses. Now, if you've ever tried to get a waiter or a waitress or a bartender to your gym at 8 a.m., listen to me, this is the most undependable group of early morning people. But I would train them. And before long, you know, I would have a lady with like a bad hip in the back who's 60 years old. And I'm over there going, I'm over there. And I'm like, you got to dig, mom. Like, you got to want it. Look at me. Look at my eyes. Look in my eyes. I believe in you. And we're going to get through this hip replacement. Come here. Can I pray with you? And like, my energy was crazy. The trainers hated me. They hated me. The personal trainers hated me, but the clients and the members of that gym, they absolutely loved me. And within 6 months, I was working like 12 back-to-back sessions. And I thought, man, we need to consolidate this thing. And I made flyers and I put them out everywhere I could put them out. YMCA, they took them down. Jersey Mike's, they wouldn't let me put them out. Subway let me put a stack. I came to the Biggest Loser, came to town, and it was snowing, and I had hot cocoa to hand these huge people and hand them my flyer for Camp Buzz, my boot camp in the park. The only person that responded to those flyers was the girl at FedEx who wanted to go out with me. I didn't get one response from those flyers. And I made this little boot camp, and I told God, I was like, listen, the only place in the Bible it says to test you is in the tithe, the first 10%. And I had made $560 the last 2 weeks. And I put 56 greenbacks, not a check, bro, not a digital giving, cheddar boys. Okay. And I put $56 in that offering bucket. And I said, I'm testing you. I want 7 people in that park. 7. And that morning, 12 showed up.
Heck yeah.
And I'd put the wrong address on. And 15 minutes later, 2 more wandered up and he doubled what I asked him to do. And I started my career that day. And I've never been paycheck to paycheck since. And dude, that is the start of it. Then I moved it into a gym when it got cold. The gym kicked me out and gave me 48 hours. They made my boot camp room into a smoothie bar. I moved it into another park outside, and my house burnt down and the homeowners association kicked me out of the park all in the same day. And I had $2,000 to my name. And I could have gone some clothes and got an apartment, or I could have couch surfed and got a building. And I couch surfed and I got a building. And I put all my chips in, bro. And I didn't have any weights or equipment. I had one speaker, okay, and a good attitude. And that's what I had, bro. And man, I grew it from there. I didn't have, that's how I grew it organically, with a good heart and a good attitude, putting God at the end of it. And, I can't take credit for any of that. I had no plan. I didn't think I was going to make a cool boot camp with multi-locations. God's had his hand on me ever since that girl kicked my door in and I said, Jesus, save me. And he said, I've been trying to do that for a while. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the highs and lows of how it got started and to where it's at today. I am just in awe and I'm thankful. I have such a heart of gratitude. Just telling this story is a good reminder because I can get caught in the mundane day to day. Got to get the workouts out. What's marketing doing? Another leadership meeting. Somebody shoot me. But like literally, God, you've been so good to me. Thank you for FitCamp 180 and all the hundreds and hundreds of lives that it's impacted. Thank you, God. That's all I have to say about that. But it's a wild story and it's a true story, bro, down to the core of it.
Yeah. That is
wow.
Yeah.
Powerful, man.
Yeah. That response from that woman officer was just perfect.
She did. She got real close. She was like, I think he is right now.
Yeah.
Now in the interrogation room, like a week later, she was mean again. You know what I mean? Heck? Hey, I thought you were praying for me. That was buds.
So you said you started just personal training. So left waiting tables, started personal training one-on-one. What gym was that at, if you don't mind me asking?
It was 4-Star Fitness.
4-Star? Okay.
And I thank Kevin McBride. I want to give Kevin McBride a shout out. One of his biggest, coolest things that he does that makes him so successful is he lets personal trainers make a living there. He doesn't try to take their money. And, he let me make a living there. And when my house burnt down, he gave me a little bit of money too. And he cared about me. And we're not close this day. I don't hear or see much from him, but when I needed a good gym to go to and make a living, that guy was there for me. And mad props to him and all his locations. Yeah. That's a solid business owner. And, I have nothing but respect for him.
Same here. Yeah. Good dude. As far as much as I know him, man. So, May location, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. Before it moved across the street, like the OG 4-Star.
Yeah.
A funny story. I had just started training, bro, and I wore short shorts, still do. And I got my short shorts on, trying to get my waiters there at like 6 a.m. in the morning. I come in and there's 4 plates on either side of the squat bar, okay? And I'm just griping, who leaves this thing all racked up and who won't put their weights away? And I strip one off and I'm still griping with my ego and my headphones, popping gum. And I take another one off and I take the third one off and the 4 plates shot that bar through the mirror and the wall. And it was just hanging there like that. And Kevin McBride, I promise you, still remembers that. But from that day on, that's how we learn lessons. From that day on, I was an even plate remover. But I learned the hard way. Everything in my journey, bro, I have banged my head against the wall hard. I'm a 2-scar child. Some kids touch the flame and they're like, oh, that's hot. Bro, I had to touch it a few times. Are you sure? I failed my way forward more ways than one. And so, I'll never forget that. That was really cool.
That's anytime I get like any sort of compliment, which isn't super, super often, but, it's like, if Triad's done well, or, you understand how this model works. It's like, well, that's because we screwed everything up. Bro.
Absolutely,
so
dude.
We just tried a bunch and we figured out all the crap that doesn't work. So,
right.
But man, you had me remembering something.
We were talking about 4-Star, the May location. Where did we start training?
Yeah. Man, it's super cool that you came from 4-Star and to hear everybody's origin stories too, because like, I think when I moved here in Oklahoma City, like when did FitCamp 180 first open?
Well, we started in the park when it was Camp Buzz in 2010.
Camp Buzz. I love and
it looked like a skill saw, like a buzz saw on the flyers with my topless picture on. Come train with me. Stupid, just stupid. But I actually titled it FitCamp 180, and under the umbrella name Edmond Elite Fitness. I want to say 2012.
Okay,
2012. So, yeah.
So that was quite a bit before I moved here. So like I moved here and I'm, learning everywhere. And you mentioned, being involved with a lot of different places. And the reason being was because when we first opened and had no customers, we were going everywhere to try and build relationships with people because we didn't know how to market. We were early 20-year-olds and just figuring things out. And we're like, hey, we know what it takes to make good supplements. We know what it takes to genuinely help people, but we don't know how to get people in the door in the first place other than to just get out there and meet people. So it was get out there and meet anybody and everybody, and anybody that's willing to work with us, we will work with them as much as we possibly can. Come out, pass out free stuff, help them out with, whatever, like kind of meal planning or anything that they have going on. Just help the people that are running the gyms, the facilities, helping people one-on-one, groups, whatever it may be. And hopefully they'll some trust will come back our way to purchase their products with us. So,
well, and I tell you too, because the fitness community, and especially the group fitness community, is so competitive and divided. Okay. And that was my idea, my thought behind the 405 Open. Let's come together, bro. Let's raise money for children's cancer. Let's bring all the big dogs in. We'll do a recreational division and we'll do the competitive division. And man, we're going to bring them all in and it's all going to go. And that was the vision behind that. And when you partnered with me and you sponsored us for that, I said right there, I will be in line with that guy. When you stepped up and did that, I'm one of those people that if you show me the love, I'm loyal to a fault, bro. You know what I mean? I'll take care of Kevin Wilhite's name when he's not in the room. You can count on that. That's the way that I am. If you do me right, bro, I'll do you right till the day they put me in the ground. But you cross me, dog. You know what I mean? And that's to get back to the divided group fitness industries. The statistics on how many people are overweight and out of shape, there's enough clients for all of us.
Yes.
Nobody's right.
Right.
Nobody's right. Everybody's got their own version. Okay. Right. Everybody's got their own format, their own plan. And dude, there is enough people for us all to be successful and loving and caring. And people are going to hop from one to the other. And it's not personal. It's just people looking to do something different. And I used to take it so personal. If they went down to True Grit. I can't believe they're at F45. And it's not personal anymore. It's just people are going to go. And once I got good with that and stop, one of the biggest things I did to give me peace up here and get successful was to stop worrying about what everybody else thought. It's such a...
You provide a better service to your members if you stop worrying about what other people are doing and just do the best that you can. Yep. We learned that lesson ourselves we were trying to keep up with being the new guys in town and seeing, all the other supplement stores in town and running deals and discounts.
Yeah, what are they doing?
Sales and we're trying to, maybe if we did some of that, we could. And then we finally had to take a step back after the first couple of years of trying to kind of play that game a little bit. Had to finally take a step back and say, why are we?
Who are we?
Yeah, who are we? We started this because we knew we could do better we could offer a better store, better service than anything that currently existed. So why are we trying to be like everybody else that does already exist? We need to focus on what makes us great as opposed to, and not worry about what everybody else is doing. And we instantly started doing better.
And on the flip side of that, I would get really upset when people copied what I did. You know what I mean? And there has been quite a few. And I don't say that boastfully or angrily now, but I'm in recovery. I'm sober and I'm in recovery. So I work with a sponsor. I remember coming to my sponsor, they're copying my stuff down there and they're doing my workouts and and he goes, do you know that is the most sincere form of flattery? That's somebody saying, hey, I respect you and I love you and I want to be more like you, even if they do it in hatefulness. You should take that with a compliment. And I do, because when I started it, I hit my knees and I prayed, God, help me to impact so many people, that they would find God and love and community through fitness. And maybe it's not all done at FitCamp 180 right now, but it's being done. And so to be grateful for that too, rather than jealous, man, that was taking 100 pounds off of me. A lot of people have come through the doors of FitCamp 180 and done something similar or done something that mimics that. And now where I'm at with my walk with God and in my, being a dad and a husband and sober in a multi-site location, I'm grateful, bro. I'm grateful that people learned something that they could take and go share the good news of Jesus through fitness with other people, whether it's under my brand name or not. I'm just glad it's being out there.
Well, and you brought something up that I feel like is something that we've said for so many years now is there is enough people for all of us.
Absolutely.
And, at the end of the day, when it's something that, I've said for years, when people will come into the store and we'll talk about, other supplement stores or whatever, it's man, I'm just happy people are getting healthy. I'm happy people are getting healthy. I'm happy people are finding their journey. And like, if that's us helping them, that's great. If that's somebody else helping them, a quote unquote competitor, like that's great too. Like we just want people being healthy and finding ways to supplement in, good nutrition, supplement in supplements, like whatever it takes, like
to make the community better, to make people better.
Right.
For the longest time, there was a bad partnership split. Most of the fitness community knows about it. And I was so upset in that season of my life. And where I'm at now, I'm so cheerful for those people. I'm so proud of those guys, and I love and pray for those guys. And had it not been for that season, I wouldn't have ripped my place down to the bones and made it what it is now. I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have my beautiful sons. I wouldn't be sober. Like, so much good came out of the scariest parts of my unsuccessful entrepreneurship. You know what I mean?
Right.
The scary parts, the valleys. God, that's where I became anything good that I am. It was never on, hey, the bank account's more than what you thought it was going to be. Members are rolling through the door and and you're on top of the mountain. I never grow there.
Right.
God, it's in the doubtful, scary, crazy times. And man, had it not been for that, I'm so grateful for that whole season and that whole thing. And I wish them so much success because that made me who I am today and made me a dad, And the only thing I love more than being the founder of FitCamp 180 is being a dad.
Yeah.
Dude, I love my dude so much.
Did you know you would love it that much, or was it a surprise?
I was scared. I didn't know how I was going to feel. And for the first, let's get real. Can we get real? Yep. I didn't know about the first 6 months. All that baby wanted was a boob and his mama, dude. You know what I mean? But about month 8, he knew who Dada was, who the crazy one was. I did love him from the get-go, and it was emotional. But I was like, he just wants her. But now those are daddy's dudes, and they love to party and play and wrestle. It takes them a while to get off the old boob, but once they do, they get on the dada. And man, I get choked up thinking about him right now. All I wanted to do was make 100 locations and tell everybody about God, love people, work hard. Now that's number 2. You know what I mean? Now I want to get home to my beautiful family and cuddle hard. It's a total different shift.
Yep. You wouldn't expect that anything could come before. You put so much into the business, man. I know you have with FitCamp 180 to get to where you're at now. It's crazy to think about anything coming first. But yeah, dude, when I come into work and I'm like, okay, like I've got, X, Y, and Z to do. I got to get ahead so I can get to, these 3 other things. And it's like, I walked in today at about 11 o'clock and Alyssa and Riley were here, and Riley's playing around up front here. And I walk in the back and she looks over and sees me and lets out a scream like, ah! And I let out the biggest scream back and I ran over to her. I'm like, all right, I'll stay up late tonight and do my work.
Absolutely. I came in today too, and my wife had brought my little one up. I have a 18-month-old named Jet. I call him Jetty Bear, the Ripper. And I'm in the middle of a sentence with my office manager, and we're vibing in the office, and he just, I have childcare at my place. That's one of the biggest blessings is I work with my kids there all day. Yeah. And like he pokes his head around the door and he's like, oh, Dada. And I just dropped everything. Let's go to the mat and wrestle right now. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Let's go. And, we had our leadership meeting. We do them virtual sometimes. Me and the Reeds from South OKC and Brittany here right next door to you in UConn. We meet virtual at least once or twice a month. And today I did it with a baby right here and a bottle going here. And I just never thought that was going to be the way, but you don't know until you know. And once you know, you can never not know. Ooh, write that down. Put that in your little notepad. And, they just finally, when I had kids, I love something more than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More than my dream, more than my vision, more than everything. My love for God is first, and then my family is just right underneath it. And God, I'm proud of my kids. I love them so much. And I know you get that. I know you get. Thomas, are you a dad too?
Not yet.
We'll get you there.
Yeah.
We're going to get you there. You dating? What do you got going on?
Yeah, I'm
you
married.
on Tinder? You out there?
I'm married.
He just got married this year, actually.
Yeah. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. Yeah.
Are you guys thinking about kids or talking about it?
That was, that's been, cause I'm 33, she's 28. So it's kind of like, we're not, we didn't get married as like super young pups. And so it's kind of a thing where I think we're both getting more and more ready. I'm more ready than she is, I think.
Right.
But we are, we're starting to start mathing our math, like when's the times and when's the thing's going to make sense, and sooner than later for sure.
Absolutely. That's good, bro.
He's Uncle Tommy here at the warehouse.
Uncle T.
I tell Riley every day she has to think I'm this cool as she does now. She has to continue, like maybe save a little bit of it now. Like don't get so excited when you see me.
Right.
So when you're like 13, you're not like, Uncle Thomas, get out of here.
I have a best friend. His name's Derek, but everybody knows him as Big Diesel. And I'll come over and my kids forget about me. They're like, Diesel. They come up and they're scrapping him out, dude. There's nothing like being the uncle because he gets to give them back when they have poopy diapers and runny noses and stuff. And he gets to go live his life. So
yeah, it's like your hands are covered in slobbered. Here's your dad.
Here's Kevin. Yes.
Was that when, I first started dating, that was like the best thing because we were both in school. And she had a dog and I always wanted to get a dog, but I was like, I'm in school. I don't know how much I can take care of it. So it's like, I got a girlfriend and a dog that I get to have fun with, but I don't have to take care of it. But then we moved in together and he's still with us today, actually, Stanley.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
I have a dog I got in 2009. His name's Jackson. He is literally, he was a pup when I got him. He's 16 years old right now. And he's ran half marathons with me. Oh. I mean, like literally, I love my dog maximum. And, because we jogged and he only ate organic, good food for so long, like I take him to the vet and they're like, dude, he's got years left. He's awesome. 16 years old. Health and fitness is good for every species on the planet. And so like, if anybody's watching this out there, literally go work out, pause this thing and go work out right now. Our whole mission statement is summed up in 3 lines. Love God. Kind of talked about that a little bit. Love people. We're doing that a lot. But the work hard gets kind of cruised over. There are a lot of group training facilities. There's a lot of people, and it is no secret. Like FitCamp 180 works out hard, bro. We go hard. You're not going to.
I've done the workout.
If you want to see results, bro, there's no way. There's scientifically no way that you can do my workouts 5 or 6 days a week and eat and the nutrition that you and I both share the same opinion on and not see dramatic results. There's just no way, bro. And I've been to other places. I always, when I travel to Dallas or do something, I want to walk through what that new member feels like again. And I want to visit places, spin classes or CrossFits or whatever. And I still have not walked into a place that smokes my face the way FitCamp 180 does in the best way. And a lot of that is because I'm an addict. Okay. I am an addict. Whatever I do, I'm going to do it hard, bro. Oh, you're going to work out? I'm going to start a fitness revolution that honors God. And, whatever I do, if I'm going to be in recovery, I'm going to speak at speaker meetings and help as many people get sober as I possibly can. Oh, you're going to get into drugs? Well, you're going to get with a dirty cop and face 30 years of federal prison. Wherever I'm going, I'm all in, bro. I'm all in. And
just not a mild person.
That's just the way I'm wired. And that's the way I program all the workouts for all the locations. And that's the way they're programmed. And we do level them. There's level 1, level 2, level 3. But like, bro, if you come in, you're going to get your hair waxed in the best way, and you're going to get the biggest endorphin release and fill of dopamine. There's nothing worse than leaving the gym going, God, I don't feel like I pushed that hard. Right? There's nothing worse than gym regret.
Yep.
And we make sure with our energy, our upbeat music, our amazing staff, and those dope programmed workouts that you are absolutely going to get the best workout in Oklahoma City. And I stand by that, bro.
There's something to be said. And I know, like personally, and a lot of people in the community are definitely, and I think some people can get even to the point where they're too science-based, where, try and be efficient with the work that they're putting in. And I'm a big believer of, if I am going to put in the work, I'm going to do it as smartly as I can. I'm going to get the most reward for the least amount of effort, but there's still so much to be said for giving the maximum amount of effort that it's not a work smarter, not harder. It's a work smarter, then work as hard as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
Because exactly like you said, man, it's especially for me, over the last, probably about 5 years now, the reason I go to the gym has definitely changed, where what I'm doing in the gym hasn't changed a whole lot. But the reason being when I first started was to definitely, build a good physique and look good. Better. Exactly.
Now it's switched.
Look better. And it's much more of a mental thing for me is I that endorphin release, how relaxed I am afterwards, how much more calm I am just throughout the day when I'm working out once a day is that's the reason that I go. And it's in like what I'm doing in there, like, doesn't matter so much for that. It's like, I can pick whatever to kind of do. As long as I'm working as hard as I can, I get those mental benefits from it. So.
Well, there's something too, just like, I just need you to find me in a puddle of my own fluids.
Period. It doesn't have to be sweat, just everything I got.
just find me. I will be the puddle person. And like, I just need that. Like with jujitsu, that's what jujitsu is for me. It's like, I can go, and it's like Saturday, I went to open mat, and I was just talking to my wife, and I'm like, well, I just need to like, let it out. You know what I mean? Like I just need to just like have a hard like workout where I'm just drenched and just like, there's nothing better, man. Like there's something, I think it's kind of the same thing where it's like, until you do that and you do it regularly, you don't understand how like beneficial, because I can go to the gym. You catch me at Vasa and I'm catching a workout, going through the motions kind of thing. Yeah, it's great. Whatever. And then I leave there and I'm like, yeah, that was fine. You know what I mean? It's like my heart rate reached 132, and then it's like, but I do jujitsu like 5 to 6 times a week where it's like, I'm in a red line for the next hour and a half and just die, and it's gonna feel great.
And then when it's over, dude, I feel high. I'm going to get high, guys. One way or the other. Shawn Busby is gonna find a way to get high. That's who I am. It's in me, and it's been passed down from generations of addicts, and I'm the one that breaks the chains in my bloodline and determines that we're gonna get high on something good, because that's who I am. I'm the chain breaker, bro. And no matter, I love what you said, Kevin, because when I started working out, I literally was going through a divorce and I didn't want to be single and overweight. Now I work out just so I'm nice to people. You know what I mean? Right. There is something about, and I've read the science on it, whatever. You need 21 minutes of steady movement to spike your
blood sugar?
No, to spike
insulin?
Your blood pressure. To get that blood pressure high and let your body run through the fight or flight. And then, it condenses everything down. We have an amygdala, and that is made to let us know, like from caveman times, do we run from the tiger or do we kill the tiger and fight it? And we have to run through that because man's amygdala is always going. And it calms that amygdala down, gives me a dopamine fill, lets me know everything's going to be all right, genuinely gets me high. And I just want to go love God, love people, and work hard. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not really trying to do anything. My body doesn't change that much. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to get big like Thomas. Okay. And I'm good on being capable. I want to be shredded and capable. And I feel like as long as, I still do the FitCamp 180 workouts. I'm not the owner that writes the workouts and then goes and does something else. Like I did the workout today. It was called the Upper Ripper, and I got ripped, bro. You know what I mean? I got ripped, and
it ripped you.
And when it's over, I feel beautiful and good. And I just want to go be sweet to people. That's what this life is about. Going and being sweet to people. I got the love God down. I got the work hard down. The work hard helps me with the love people. Because a lot of times I don't wake up and just want to love God and love people too. Right. Sometimes I need a little help with that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's crazy. Like when you meet people and, especially getting close with everybody over here, and not just the owners, but the members, everybody, it's like people who, and there's definitely something to it. You're talking about the amygdala and going through all of that, and like it's the same thing I find with people at jiu-jitsu is it's just like they're so calm and like, or they're energetic, but they're always happy. Like they just feel good. Like they're just good to be around.
Go to the marathon. Go to a 5K or a 10K. Do you see anybody upset?
Yeah,
no. You don't. It's the happiest group of people, just runners. We're all about to die here for a minute. Yeah. And it feels good because they all know they're about to get high.
Yeah.
They're all about to get high and feel good and get that endorphin release. Like there's never, have you ever seen like a husband and wife fighting at a 5K?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Good point. Yeah.
I just have it, bro. Yeah. I haven't seen that. Fitness, for the most part, is a really loving, good group of people because they know a secret. You know what I mean? They're in on the secret, bro.
When I finished the half marathon last year, my wife was at the finish line, and I'm like, I love you, and I'm hungry. Like, that's all I'm feeling.
I want to hug you and eat.
Yeah, right. Let's go do those two things.
My wife ran the half marathon in her 3rd trimester with both my boys. Because we both believe that the hard work And the drive that you put in is genetically transferred to those children. And we're making warriors, bro. We're making godly, Christ-centered, healthy, fit, sober warriors that are going to impact this world. And I'm I just have to brag on my beautiful wife, Michaela Busby, because she saved my life, dude. When I was in that dark place, going through that transitional season, I was losing thousands of dollars a month. 30 days sober. I don't know what I'm going to do. Everybody's leaving me. And that little girl held my hand and she walked me through the second darkest, scariest part of my life. And bro, she has literally been the better half. She is my better, sweeter half. Just incredible mom. But to watch her run that, not in like her first trimester, or the second, I'm talking about bumped out, bro. Yeah. Okay. And she did that. And both times I talked to her about it, she was like, it was just me and that baby boy. It was just me and Roman or me and Jet. And whenever I got tired, I would just tell that baby, it's you and me. We can do this, you know? And I just get emotional thinking about it. My wife, she handles our social media and our marketing and our videography. And, you know, she's the voice of reason when I'm going crazy. Like she is every bit as FitCamp 180 as I am. And I just have to give her a huge shout out on this podcast because I get a lot of the glory for being the founder and the guy and the face. But, you know, when she came in and she showed me what love really was supposed to be, and gave me my boys, like, Michaela Lynn, I'll never forget her running those races in her third trimester. And I was blown away. The half marathon kills me every year when I do it and I'm healthy and fit and a runner. Here she is. She doesn't run. She runs she's ran twice. Both half marathons, both in her third trimester. That's the only time because she wants to make healthy, strong boys. And they see their mom work out every day and they see their dad work out every day. And we pray out loud in front of our kids and we run our business together like our kids. I didn't grow up around that. Okay. I didn't see anything like that. And that's just going to be the way for our young men. You know what I mean? We are what we see and those learned behaviors. I can't, I tell people all the time, especially the parents, this has got to be about more than you.
Amen.
You know what I mean? This has got to be about more than you. If somebody's out there and they're clinically obese and they're living a lackadaisical life, smoking 2 packs a day, drinking, cheating on their wife, whatever they're doing, your kids are watching that and it is going to repeat. I am a chain breaker, bro. And I want the ripple effect of my fitness and my prayer life and my walk with the Lord and the way I love my wife. I want that to impact my kids and their kids and their kids for 1,000 generations of Busby. I want to be the one that broke the chains of addiction, that broke the chains of the world. I want to be that one, you know what I mean? And I get up every day and I remember that. that.
Yeah. How cool is it to work on the business with your wife though?
Can we pick a different topic? I will tell you, it presents a lot of love and fun things to do. I love that the person that's my right hand has my back. It can also get interesting.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It can also get very interesting.
It is not. It's not some.
I don't recommend it.
Grand,
for the faint of heart.
No, bro. I do not recommend it.
There. Alyssa's worked with us since 2019 full time, and she was helping out a lot on the side beforehand as well. And we had been together for probably at that time, like 5 or 6 years. So we knew each other well, we had worked together, but there was still a lot to learn and boundaries to set and things we had to learn about each other and how we worked. But today, and Thomas and I had to go through a lot of that ourselves.
As do me and my other owners, as do me and we go through that.
But to be able to come to work and it's my wife is here, my best friend since college is here, and be able to make decisions. And you talk about that as well, of like kind of being the face. And it's funny. I get probably more credit than I deserve sometimes, because a lot of times when a decision comes my way, I'm like, hey Thomas, what would you do about this? Or Alyssa, what would you do about this? So I go to so many, pretty much everybody that works here, I go to for opinions, especially when that's their specialty, when they're going to have a good opinion or be able to help make a good decision. But Thomas and Alyssa are 2 go-tos for me.
Let me tell you what my wife is great at. Excellence. That's what my wife is not gonna, and we call it, we don't redneck anything, bro. Okay. Like she is the reason we have the nice spin bikes we do when we couldn't even afford them. She is the reason our content some of it looks like it's off a Nike commercial. She is the reason our kids wear little Bipsy and look beautiful. She is the style, the beauty, the excellence, the fashion, the thing that makes us look and pop the way it is. That sure isn't me, bro, because I would just make a post, hey, free workout on Saturday, come get your hair waxed, get some. People work hard. You know what I mean? Right. And she is the one that brings that vibe, and she has the vision of what it could be. And I know several people that are entrepreneurs and work with their significant other, and it's just not an easy road, bro. No. It's not an easy road, but I tell you what, she deserves so much love and encouragement for putting up with me, because I'm not easy. I'm usually the problem, bro. It's got to be this way on this time and blah, blah, blah. And so, I give her all the love and the props for all that she does, not just for me, but her content goes out to all of our locations, and she's done an amazing job.
That's super cool.
I think there's something that I know, at least from us personally, and like with Alyssa and the dynamic that we've had around here, is there is something to having like that love for each other as like friends, or as like, boyfriend or girlfriend, long-term stuff, where like, one, that nothing coming out of, like, I know nothing coming out of your mouth towards me is malicious. Like, I know that we all have the same, like, we want this to be successful. So in the deepest part of our being, we want this to be successful. And on top of that, like, knowing somebody like, this is something that I equate to God as well, is like, sometimes God's going to show you something that you don't want to see or that you don't want to hear, but because you know that it's coming from a place of love, that it allows you to take it in a different way. And I think the same thing can happen amongst us, in the sense of like, hey, if you're calling me out for how I handled the situation, or I'm calling you out about how we handled the situation, we understand that it's from love and that it's to benefit moving forward, not just to like harp on each other or just to like call each other out or something. It's like hey, like, I care, and I care about you, and I care about this, and that's why we're having this. Why we're having this tough conversation. Like, if we just didn't care, we wouldn't have it. And I think those moments, few far between, that have had to happen. But it's like we've had those talks that always end on something positive, because like we know that at the end of the day, no matter what, it's coming from a good place. It's coming from a place to benefit not just us, but the company in general. And I feel like being able to work with somebody like your spouse, like your wife, is like, even, and sometimes we need it. Sometimes I need it. Sometimes we all need it. Sometimes we need that, like, hey, like, got to call you out here. And you're like, but you know what? You do love me 365 days a year. Right. So I know this conversation's not coming from nothing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I've got a question, probably for both of you guys, with tough conversations, tough parts of life.
Here we go.
I think we've all had our fair share. Probably.
I have them on the weekly, bro.
But in those hard moments, or even just hard conversations, or difficult decisions to make, have you guys started to associate, when you find yourself in those situations, that you're getting excited for the outcome, that you'll learn or end up in a better spot because of it? Or do you forget until the very end and you're like, oh yeah, like I forget, I learn a lot during this?
If I'm coming to you to tell you something you did, I feel great. I feel awesome the whole time. When you're all mad at me and barking back, trying to give me your side, and I'm like, you just wait, you're going to calm down, you're going to see my side, and then I'm going to laugh at you. I feel awesome during those times.
We've learned that the hats, there's a home hat and there's an office hat, and sometimes those hats don't get switched at the right time. It's hard. It's hard because you're still my wife, I'm still your husband. And let's say I need to communicate this with you, but we've got kind of this going on over here. I've learned to sometimes send my office manager, I'll send the office manager, hey, would you ask her real sweetly to do this? Because she's not vibing right. Whatever it takes to get the information across. But at the end of the day, my wife knows a few things. She knows that whatever way the chips fall, my heart is centered on Christ. Whatever way the chips fall, I'm a faithful and devoted husband. Whatever way the chips fall, I'm driving this company wherever it's supposed to go, and that I have her back, and I take care of her name when she's not in the room. And like, I may get mad at her, but you damn sure better not. You know what I mean? That's our vibe. Like I can get frustrated, and we might, but you sure better not. And that's our deal. And at the end of the day, we come together and we're just trying to love God and more people and work hard. And when we come at it with the end in mind, it all works out.
Yeah. Well, it's nice also just surrounding yourself with people that know how to help, right? You know, like people just like for me, I got this awesome go-to move where I come in and I'm like, tensions are high. I'm going to take the baby.
There you go. That's beautiful.
And then they're like, oh, hey, let's have a conversation because Thomas is playing with the baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
we're big on the pause. You know, I've got my kids' birthdays here, but this is also a pause button. Okay. It looks like, and man, because I can feel, okay, temperature got high, negative thoughts, ready to lash, touch it and run. And that's taken me again a lot of years to find that pause button. And so, you know, that's where, that's a big one for me. When emotions are high, wisdom is low. And so I try to breathe, exercise, use my toolkit, make an AA meeting, call my sponsor, listen to a Stephen Furtick podcast, take a walk, play with my kids, whatever tool I can do to level that down a little bit and come back with more wisdom. It always goes better. You know what I mean? And so that's one of my biggest things, because I do have to have a lot of heavy conversations. Being an addict in recovery, being somebody who's been to rehab, being somebody who's been divorced, being somebody who has fallen down and gotten back up countless times. A lot of my ministry happens behind closed doors. I'm the guy to call, bro, when there's nobody left to call. You know what I mean? If I have members and they know there's an open door policy, if you know, you're struggling with pornography or alcohol or your marriage, or you're being unfaithful right now, or there's been an infidelity in your marriage, or you know, you need to book a sober living house for your brother, I'm that guy. And I make sure that emotions are down low, we're nice and calm, we come in there. And you know, that's my tactic, is to love people where they're at. I've been through so much life, and I've banged my head on those walls so many times and failed so many times that it's not only okay, but it's cool at FitCamp 180 to not be okay. I'm not looking for the cool kids. I don't need the rich kids.
Cool kids pee the pants.
I don't need the guy that's been to church the most and has the best background and was Phi Beta Kappa and 2-time All-American, has all this money and gets it all right. Dude, bring me the one with vodka on his breath. Okay. His marriage is holding on, struggling everywhere. That's the one I'm called to help, bro. Those are the people I want in my gym. I want the imperfect people. You don't have to be in shape to come to FitCamp 180. You ain't got to be sin free. You don't have to have your nutrition on point. None of that, man. You come through those doors just as you are, and you get love there. Everybody says it's like a church and an AA meeting and a gym and a hospital all had a baby. And that's kind of what we are. We are more so than anything I've been in. People love you right where you're at FitCamp 180. And that's because the leader is, you know, it's okay to be not okay, because I'm such an addict and you know.
Well, look at your roots. It's just meet me at the park.
Right.
Let's just do it at the park. You know what I mean? Like that's from that whole story I keep hearing. I was like, you got 12 people to show up to a park workout?
Yeah.
My goodness. Like that's crazy. But I think that's it. Like you look back and it's like, I think that mentality has probably stayed, obviously, but it's like, you know, it started in a way of just like, hey, let's just like, I don't care who you are. Come meet me at the park. Let's go work out.
Absolutely, bro. That's like saying, hey, you need to get your sin together before you come to church. Hey, you better stop drinking before you come to an AA meeting. Are you kidding me, bro? Bring it in. Bring it in, big dog.
It's one thing that I know a lot of our staff really got excited about you doing, and we were really excited to be involved with it, was the chain breakers thing that you started just this year. And I don't know if that's something you plan on doing regularly, but could you tell us a little bit more?
Absolutely. You know, it was the craziest thing. I had just got done finishing up the 405 Open, and there was some fallout and some negativity at the end of that. Some people didn't think the team that won, and there was a little bit of a skirmish, and you know, there was some negative fallout, and it really was stressing me and wearing on me. And I went out to a friend of mine's lake house at Grand Lake, and I hit my knees. I was like, God, why is it like this? So why, what is going on here? I feel I'm hitting this wall. I'm on this hamster wheel of anxiety and negative and having conflict and turbulence. What is going on? And he goes, do you think I saved you to go put on fitness competitions? Mm-hmm. He goes, I did not save you to put on fitness competitions, and you know that. He goes, I saved you so you could go help other people.
Yep.
And in that moment, all I did was make two posts. I said, hey, I'm looking for people that have tried everything else and are desperate to lose weight. And I want the people that have tried the shot, that have tried the Ozempic, that have been to every trainer in town, that have lost the same 50 pounds over and over and over, who hate the person in the mirror, that is having suicidal thoughts. I want the desperate person. And I got over 60 responses to those two. And I vetted and interviewed a bunch of people, and I capped it at, I say 10. I let my best friend, Big Diesel, come too. But, I capped it at 10 people. And what I did was every morning, I would train them at 5 a.m. They were required to be there at 4:50. We had this huge orientation where I made their family come, and they signed a contract. I stapled their check to the contract. And if they made it through this whole program and didn't see progress, they could keep their money. If they missed more than 3 times, there was no talk about the money. They had to post everything they ate. There were some guidelines. They had to eat and follow the diet I told them to, and their family had to come in and promise to be supportive and not bring bad food around them and be encouraging. And so then we brought them to Triad, and we in-body scanned them and put them on the right supplements. Then I took them to Sarah Van Ann's place, Fresh Fit 405, and we taught them how to prep their food. Then I took them grocery shopping. Then, we had their family look them in the eye and write a letter to them and tell them why they needed to lose this weight and how much they believed in them. And we invited God, and I worked them through the first 3 steps of the 12 steps of recovery. And I would meet them every morning at 5 a.m. Now, mind you, I got to get up at 1:30 a.m. so that I can be prayed up and worked out before I get to people, because I got to love them, okay? So I met them Monday through Friday. I trained them at 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., we had a support group meeting as I worked them through, why are they eating that way? So many trainers can, eat this, do that, and blah, blah, blah. Why are you doing that? Where's the big hurt? What are you numbing? Let's get deep into those uncomfortable parts in a group setting. And once this person opened up and shared about their past trauma, that made it okay for this person to cry and open up about their trauma and share. And we literally broke these chains. Every single person, 90% of the people in there, I won't go into numbers or anything like that, but it was radical, bro. And through the whole thing, more so than just the weight that was lost, but the light that came on, right? Okay. And them, so many times we'll do a 30-day challenge or a 6-week challenge. And then when it's over, what do? We have a cheat meal. It's all over. We got down to the root of it, and we laid the blueprints out and gave them all the tools they need for follow-up support. We kept them in their own Facebook group, transitioned them from the chain breaker over to FitCamp 180. They still meet and work out every day. And this is going to be a life switch for these people. That's awesome. And it's more than weight loss. I'm talking about people's lives getting saved, and their husbands and wives and their roommates coming and just being there at the finale of it, and just bragging on their person and all the tears and the weight that was lost. But more important than the weight that was lost was I love the person in the mirror again. When you don't love the person in the mirror, everybody in your circle is negatively impacted, because you can't truly love them. You can't be a great husband and be 400 pounds and not like yourself in the mirror. You can't be you may be a great husband, but you're not what you're supposed to be. Right. You're not reaching your potential. And so these people broke some chains, came together, became a family, and they're still doing it every day. And, the whole time God winked at me through all of it and said, this is your next step in your career. The 405 Open, I don't know if I do that again. It's great. It's a super intense fitness competition. It served its purpose. It was a lot of fun. But the chain breaker is why I was saved. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And so in that negativity from the 405 Open and all the anything. It was a beautiful event. It's an awesome event. Like, please come if we do another one. Okay. But in that, God's working in all things. Okay. Not some things, not the fun things, but even in the negativity that drew me to my knees to say, hey, what am I supposed to do here? And God said, this, you already know this, you know? Right. And so
I think it's something that I've brought up on the podcast before, and it's something that like I like to personally think to myself. But I think in everything that you just said, I think it matches this so perfectly. But is not just through Chain Breakers, but through FitCamp 180 with 3 locations. Is like, how many years of life have you added to people? You know what I mean? How many grandchildren met their grandparents because of that? You know what I mean? And that's the stuff that it's like, man, when I'm feeling not motivated, I'm like, I'm going to go introduce someone to their grandparents today. You know what I mean? Like that's my motivation this week is, you know what? I'm going to help influence in positive ways somebody's life that will now get to meet their grandchild that wouldn't have been around because of it. And so it's like, when you start thinking of that in terms of like next door, how many years of a life have been added because of these walls that exist next to us? An incredible amount, because you're not just building like life through Christ and community, but also instilling through challenges or whatever, like correct nutrition habits. People now understand. I think there's, especially unfortunately, like we see the education, especially revolving around nutrition that we've had for so long, be rough, right? And so people don't know.
They don't know.
I think it's, it's easy for us, and I think I have to like even catch myself sometimes, is like taking it for granted that somebody knows more than what they do. Right. And it's like, man, if you get into the trenches and start talking to people, you realize, and no fault to them, like that you realize that like somebody failed them, whether it was the education system, whether it was parents, grandparents, whatever, somebody failed them along the way. And this is what they know. And you talk about formative years and that stuff being, those pathways being ingrained in their brain from a young age. And it's like, these people, like, one of the things, similarly on topic, but like one of the things I talk to people about all the time is when they come in, they always say like, I'm just eating too much. I'm eating too much. And I'm like, okay, well, that could be. Right. But I was like, I weigh 260 pounds. If somebody walks in here and they weigh 500 pounds, do they eat twice the volume of food I do? Because there is not a chance they eat twice the volume of food I do. Like, there is no way.
Right.
Are we making different food choices?
Right.
Yes. Like volume, like you shouldn't have to be afraid of volume. Like you eat healthy, you know how much food it can be. Like how much, like even when I'm coaching someone through weight loss, sometimes they're like, I've got to eat how much chicken in a day? And I'm like, yeah, it's a bunch.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever gotten obese from eating chicken and rice.
Right. But,
or eggs.
Yeah, or eggs. Yeah. Amen.
I'll eat a dozen of eggs a day.
Amen. Amen. And so it's, we're being able to just influence and change and get these like correct modalities and correct ideas and how to actually take care of yourself. It's like, man, even if somebody comes and they find their fitness journey and they do it for a couple of years and then maybe they kind of fall off, which is unfortunate, how much in that 2 years did you improve this person's life?
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you, on the nutrition side, I have to just swat the hand of the United States for a minute because we poison our people.
Amen.
Okay. You can go to Europe and have a full-blown pizza and pasta meal and not gain any weight. The stuff that we put in food over here is horrible. And people believe the commercial when this says it's non-GMO or it's low fat. We just go right in. Oh, well, it must be good for us, Right. And, I worked out. I was able to run around Lake Hefner and I was working out 4 or 5 days a week and I could not get the last 25 pounds off of me. And I had a trainer, an old buddy of mine, shout out to Adam Holsworth, personal trainer out at Nichols Hills Gym. He came, he goes, let me see your fridge. And I was like, well, I'm using wheat bread. I use wheat bread here and my, these brats are low fat brats. My cereal milk here is 2%. There's nothing wrong with 2% milk. And he was like, bro, we nothing here supports a health and fitness journey. And once I switched my diet, bro.
Oh yeah.
It's game on. It's game on. Again, when you don't know what you don't know. And once you do know, you can't not know.
Right.
And that's, it's a shame that more, my parents didn't know. You know, it was mac and cheese, fried chicken, pizza, burgers.
Right.
You know, nobody told me that, hey, that will make you fat. And I was such an athlete, 3-sport athlete. Right. I just stayed in good shape. And I thought that was the way you ate. You know what I mean? And it's not my mom's fault. Her parents didn't know, and their parents didn't know. For generations, nobody has really covered that in the United States. Is food and farming and agriculture has gotten so poisoned and it's gotten so bad that, you know, it's, you know, you have to be so intentional to eat clean now. Amen. You can't just take a trip to the grocery store and, you know, go to Walmart neighborhood market and get your cart full and think that you're going to lose weight. You literally have to be intentional about what you're doing. And that's what these challenges and chain breakers and triad, that's what we're doing. We're not just helping people lose weight. Literally, we're saving them from Alzheimer's, dementia, short life, cancer, heart disease. Yeah, we're getting you shredded. Okay, that's a great byproduct of me helping you live till you're 90 years old.
Amen.
Yep. Man, one thing you mentioned is the mindset change is the coolest part. That's always been my favorite part. As cool as it is to see people, you know, step on our in bodies or tell me and see a big difference or tell me how much weight they lost or even like their physique change. But like when people like, especially when doing like challenges, and we do our own challenges or like going through, you know, a certain period of their life where they're really cleaning up their diet. It's when they really finally like get that the switch flips and they finally like fully understand. Yeah. And I didn't realize that until it finally happened. It was cool watching all these people, you know, see results, but I didn't realize how much cooler it was when I can remember I don't remember the name of the person because I only knew them very briefly, but I can remember the moment when someone was like, they had just gone through a period of eating better and they, you know, I don't know how much weight they lost, but they told me, I learned so much while doing these meal plans that you guys put together on just how to eat on a regular basis that my life is forever changed. And it's like, that was such a cool moment for me. It's like, I almost don't even care about weight loss. Like,
Kevin, listen to me. And their kids.
Yes.
Yeah. And their kids, bro. Yeah. I look at it down the road, bro. And like you literally, when you teach them that, Kevin, you're saving generations. I try to think about that generation because I know now.
Effect.
Once you know, you can't not know. I know, and I'll be damned if my kids don't know.
Right.
And I think the way to sum it up on generally, because there's a lot of intricacies to it, and we simplify as much as possible. So like even the person that's literally never followed a diet before can follow generally what we put together, and we try and make sure. And it's different for every person, different for every situation, but the way to sum it up, I'll give a quick shout out to Kevin Williams. He's one of our customers. He, I don't know if he's certified. I assume he's certified in nutrition, but he does help generally with a lot of people in a lot of other places. But he made a post one time about changing the mindset to be, don't focus on getting rid of all the bad food in your diet. Focus on getting more good food in your diet, and the bad food will naturally work its way out. Now, obviously that's a very generalized statement, but it was like, gosh, that's so true though. It's like everybody focuses on like what you said of like, I just need to eat less. I need to eat, and it's a crash that because focus on getting more good protein in your diet. Focus on getting good carbohydrates at the right times in your diet.
Stop spiking your insulin for the love of God.
Stop drinking soda.
Stop
drinking soda.
Oh, yeah.
Stop drinking soda.
That's the one that like, I remember like seeing someone, you know, cause there's times where it's like, you know, you're looking at them, there's tears in their eyes, there's tears in your eyes, but you're like, I just had to, I had to teach you the thing that like you've been saying, like once you now know, you can't ever not know again. I remember talking to this lady, and this was years ago, where she hadn't had a sip of water in, at the time was like 19 years. All she drank was orange Fanta. 19 years
for 11.
19 years of orange Fanta. And I just was like, sit down with me. I'm going to explain to you how pancreas works. And like, she's looking at me and I'm going through like the effects of like spiking your insulin and type 2 diabetes and like just going through all these things. And she's looking at me with like tears in her eyes. And she's like, this is, and I'm
she took the red pill, bro.
Right. And I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to make you cry, but I'd rather you leave here and never look at an orange Fanta the same way.
Right.
Like that, if that is all we get from this,
even if you don't go home and change it now.
That'd be fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic. Sorry. Can I take a 2-minute pee break?
Go for it.
Is that okay, dudes?
Absolutely. All right, let's hear this college story.
So you mentioned that you guys were college buddies and that you went to school but didn't graduate. I have the same story. Mine's probably a little crazier. I went to Northeastern State University and I rushed. I was a Kappa Sig.
Hey,
and
we were both teaks.
I loved the teaks, bro. I didn't like a lot of the dudes, but I was friends with the teaks.
That's good.
And so we won everything every year. And my fourth year in college, I took great classes, dude. I took, walking for fitness, intro to billiards, ballroom Western dancing 1 and 2, PE. Yeah. Like these are the classes I was spending my parents' money on.
That's good.
And so I never had any intention of graduating college. I rushed, got in a fraternity. I was the social chair of the fraternity. I planned the parties and we lost to the Lambda Chi's for the homecoming floats. So I start drinking early.
Naturally.
I start drinking early. We walk out with our float and, we've hazed our pledges and had them building this float all week long. And the Lambda Chi's beat us. And so that night I'd been drinking all day. I call the pledges over. I'm like, listen, Kappa Sigs for life, bro. We don't lose nothing. Lambda Chi's, we called them chops. Are we going to let those chops beat us? They're like, no, Razor was my name in college. Okay. No way, Razor.
This is like, is he telling our story?
Like, no way, Razor. We're never going to ever take second place. We don't take second to those chops for nothing. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to burn their float down. You with me? And so I take the pledges to the football field, bro. And I tell them, I'm like, if you tell anybody, this is for life. I'll blackball you. If you ever say a word, you go over there. Do you want to be in this fraternity? You want, this is for life, brothers for life. You go burn that shit down. You do it right. Okay, Razor. They're so pumped up, bro. Yeah, no. I'm hammered, slurring on them. I'm like a god of the Kappa Sigma world. And, so they go and they light the Lambda Chi float on fire.
Any Lambda Chi's listening right now.
I love you, Chops. I'm a changed man when Christ has radically saved me. So you guys know that these are made of ghosties and like wire and plywood. Mm-hmm. So they're extreme, and the ghosties are spray painted. So it's so extremely flammable.
Like the most flammable thing ever created.
I never thought it through, and it goes. They lit it, and it goes. And then the neighboring trailer caught fire too.
Oh no!
And did the neighboring. And the neighboring So every Greek homecoming flow is ablaze out on the Northeastern State University football field parking lot. And so, I was already on academic probation and I was under investigation for being in a bar underage. Like I was just not winning in college. And finally they called me to the Dean of Student Affairs. And they called her the dragon lady. There was this picture of a dragon on there. You knew you didn't want to go talk to her ever. And like I'd seen her 4 times. And I just walked in and she was like, do we even have to talk? I was like, no, I'm good here. And that was my exit. This is what I do. I build this beautiful life and these things up and I rip it down with drugs and alcohol and bad decisions.
Or legitimately burn it down.
Burned it down, bro. Burned it down to the ground. I mean, I had stolen some headphones out of the internet lab. Like I was a douchebag in college, bro, and high school. Like I am so glad to not be who I was back then. But, I know a lot of people that have graduated college and they have 2 master degrees and this and that, and they're looking for jobs, bro. You know what I mean? I came from the school of hard knocks. The jobs I had prior to FitCamp 180, there were 3 of them. I was a waiter, a strip club DJ, and a car salesman. And all 3 of those have taught me a great deal. I know how to have a heart of a servant and bring you things and love on you like a waiter. I know how to have deep, kind, I know how to get in a negotiating setting without getting scared. So many people, I don't just pay whatever they ask. I don't do that. And the strip club DJ taught me to rock the microphone and the DJ booth. And we do all that at FitCamp 180. God was even working at the strip club and what I would later on do, because, like it says on my arms, Romans 8:28, God is working in all things for those who believe in him. And so I'm really grateful he was. That's my college story. Big shout out to the Kappa Sigma Fraternity Nu Phi chapter. Sorry, this is my step 9 living amends to you guys. I love you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I burned those floats down. Everything I did to leave you guys in that horrible
Did they ever find out who it was, or are you just admitting that?
For sure. Yeah. They pulled my pin out of the fraternity and all that. And I'm still friends with a couple of them on social media, but I left in a blaze as I always do.
And so, like a phoenix, you have risen from the ashes.
Thank you, Lord. Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
I don't know if we've got as quite as crazy.
We didn't burn anything down.
Yeah. But I mean, I think like kind of like what you were saying earlier is man, I think we both saw like what we were going to school for and what that kind of would produce. And I don't know, I don't guess I can't speak for you, but I just wasn't extremely excited about my options after school, and just, and mine was probably a lot more quiet of an exit. Both him and I were both the New Pledge educators at one point in time with the fraternity. So I think I
love that name, New Pledge educator.
Oh God, I almost got kicked out for smoking weed with the pledges. Like I was not that.
but yeah, I think we both saw a lot of potential with getting into the career field and gaining experience, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. It's valued a little bit more in having experience over a degree in certain fields. Obviously.
How did you get to nutrition, Kevin? What you're a well-educated guy, both of you, very well-spoken, handsome guys. How did you land on nutrition and supplements?
Yeah. So career-wise, it was actually him that got me into it, but I'll rewind. I started working out in high school. It was my senior year. Buddy was going to the gym. He was getting jacked. I was like, I'd like to not be a beanpole. Can I come work out with you? So I was really just hanging out with him because he was my friend in high school, and I just wanted to spend more time with him. And I was like, yeah, I'll lift some weights with you. And I like noticed that I started to like gain some muscle tissue, and I was like, this looks cool. Girls started to stop being so mean to me.
Yeah, they did.
And man, I started to really enjoy building a physique, and I went to college, Missouri State, kept up working out because I was enjoying that, and just kind of did it through school. And I enjoyed, getting better at the workouts, getting more efficient, learning about nutrition. I really enjoyed the supplementation side of things, where him and I were both shopping at Supplement Superstores, which is a chain of stores in the Missouri area.
Right.
And he started to learn about all these opportunities with working for Supplement Superstores. We had a fraternity brother that had a brother, an actual brother that worked at Supplement Superstores, Chad Miller. He's one of the original partners here. And he was kind of passing us all this information about, hey, there's all these opportunities to grow with a company and build a career in a cool position and all these different things. And I got way more excited about that. I think he was the one that got me excited about it. And it was, I don't know if I would have been able to confidently say it at the time, but I was like, all right, well, screw school, because like that, I'd rather do that. So,
well, we were just like, I think it's one of those things where compared to school, we were excited to go every day. Like we felt like we were making a difference. Like we were talking to people, we were learning stuff that we were interested in.
I learned a lot. I was only there for a year and a half, and I learned a boatload there working with customer service.
And like, just getting to do it and have like hands-on and seeing like the fruits of your labor and like all those kind of things that like I just don't feel like, for us at least, or for me personally, I guess, like didn't translate as much at school. Like if it was stuff I was interested in, I was doing great. If it's stuff I wasn't interested in, I couldn't care less. And that was like the thing that was always really funny. So I studied economics in college. I was in the honors fraternity. Like it was like the honors part of economics, because I had like a 4.0 in my economics classes because they were super interesting to me, but I had a 0.2 GPA in the rest of my classes and was failing out of college while simultaneously being the secretary of the honors fraternity for the economics department. Wow. Because I was just like, I just could not care. Like you couldn't get me to go to a class I didn't care about. As soon as I realized I didn't care, you catch me anywhere but in those halls.
What's that, type E? Type A, type B people. I think you guys know those personality changes are differences, but like type E is like, when it's something you don't care about or isn't pointful,
check out.
Yeah, you check out. But but on something you do care about, you put everything into it.
Yeah. And so that's how and that's what work, like that's what Supplement Superstores felt like. I was excited. I was excited for the opportunity, but it was also like every day I was learning something that like felt so applicable to what I was doing on a daily basis. And like that combination of things plus like, oh wait, I can do this forever? Like this doesn't feel like a job.
So many people go to a job every day that they could give two shits about. You know what I mean? They punch their clock, they do their time, they go back home, they're on a hamster wheel, and they have no passion, they have no fire, they're not making a difference. And man, we got one life.
Amen.
I am so glad for the homecoming burn down, the divorce, the arrest, everything that it took to help me find my passion and my way. Because, you know, as monotonous and as a grind as it can be as an entrepreneur, I love what I do. I love the people that I help, and I am on fire for it no matter what.
Even when you sweep the floors, it's like my business looks cleaner because I just swept the floors.
I can wipe the sweat off an elliptical and get the hairs off of it and still feel good about what I'm doing. And I went to college in 97 because that's just what you were supposed to do. You know, I'm not going to do that for my kids. They're going to have an option. You know, I want them to take a year and find their self. I think, you know, there's several programs where you can go and, you know, I think Crossings puts one on and Kanakuk puts one on where they can go and find their relationship with the Lord and what they're passionate about. That's what I want my sons to do. I want them to know, what are you passionate about? What does it take to start a business in that? Well, you know, how many people can you help? What gets you excited in the morning? You know, let's find your core values, your past experiences, and what you have a burden for. Pastor Craig of Life Church calls it your kazone. Let's find your kazone, and then let's go make a living doing it. That's what I want my boys to get up every day and have a need or a calling or a burden to go and help people. Dude, because when you do that, you know, I may not ever be a millionaire, but I love my life. And that's priceless, bro. That you can't put a price tag on, hey, what do you do? Well, I help people every day, and I tell them about the good news of Jesus, and I get them shredded AF, and I have a good time doing it.
Well, that was like for me. So like I went to college, like it's the thing that's funny is like, I say this and I feel like it's not actually true, but like if I went to college now and like chose what I was doing, like very meticulously, I'd be like, I like this, right?
Sure.
But when I went to college, so I played.
You don't know at 18.
No. And I was playing lacrosse in college. And so like I went to college to play lacrosse. And when I got to college, I was there to play lacrosse.
That's it.
That was it. I was partying and playing lacrosse, right? And then when I was done playing lacrosse, I had to fill that void with like the fraternity. And then I'm in college for my fraternity brothers. I'm here for the fraternity.
I'm here to plan the parties.
Exactly. Like I was like, I'm here for this. And so it's like, it's really interesting where it was like never once was my motivation for school.
I thought it was mass communications. I thought I was going to be a news anchor or something like that. And then even making commercials and doing that, I was never really fulfilled the way I was when I was like, I'm going to be a personal trainer. Right. You know what I mean? I'm going to teach people how to really get in good shape. And that turned me on, bro. And it still turns me on today to see that light come on in somebody's eyes, to see him lose 50 pounds, you know, to see a marriage get stronger, to see somebody give their life to Jesus. Dude, I mean, that's what this life's about. You know what I mean? At the end of my journey, I'll look back and I won't say, well, I wonder what would have happened if I would have went for it. My ass got up and went for it, bro. And you know, maybe FitCamp goes down someday, but at least I took a swing. There's a lot of people that are doing a job that doesn't mean anything to them, and they're going to look back on their deathbed and go, God, I wish I would have done something different. Dude, and I'm not going to have that, bro.
And I think especially it's easier to say that, like, especially now that we're like in that, have that perspective, we have that experience. But I think from the outside looking in, and you hear the statistics of, you know, 75% of businesses fail within the first year, you know, the 50% more fail within the next year. And it's like so many businesses fail. It's like, man, like I would still like, one, I think there's businesses don't fail. I think people run into a hard spot and they don't know how to get out, or they don't want to put the work in to get out of that.
Or they won't change. Yes.
They won't work to get smarter. They won't work to get out of the situation. I think there's always a way out. There's always a way to continue pushing forward. And it's like, it is not easy. Like that's you will run into situations that are difficult.
We don't get to go. I don't ever really go home from work and like check out. Me and my wife are always on the clock.
Yep. Right. 100%. And Man, but I think hearing that statistic, it makes it scary, but it's like, but exactly like you said, like sitting in the spot that I am now, it's like, man, I'd rather fail tomorrow than to not have jumped into this in the first place, man.
Absolutely.
You gain so much experience by doing it too. It's like you run a business, even for a year, you gain so much knowledge from that you can take that, even if you go work another job, man, like you end up with so much more understanding of how things
the world works, bro.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? And so I hear people say, I wish I was the boss. I would do this and that. Well, it is not for everybody. Entrepreneurship is for the warriors and the warriors alone, bro.
Yeah.
It is a warrior's game. And like, it is not for the faint of heart. I will tell you, FitCamp 180, I help a lot of people at FitCamp 180, and I'm really thankful that I have the opportunity to do that. But it saved my life. It came to a place where me and my former business partner, they had an intervention, and I lost everybody and everything I loved. And God told me, He was like, listen, you can get sober and continue this journey, or I'm going to let somebody else have this platform and live your vision and calling. FitCamp 180 was the first thing that I loved and I would not trade for drugs and alcohol. And so it saved my life in a way too. That entrepreneurial, that drive, that mission, that calling, that passion is what it was finally what drew me to my knees and said, okay, God, you can have the alcohol, because I thought I was good just getting off meth. But I was praying for people and helping them with their fitness, but I was drinking a fifth of vodka and sleeping around and doing all the sinful things because I didn't really feel convicted about it because I was such an alcoholic. I thought it was just the way. And finally, when it came to a head, I had a choice. Continue this business and calling in this thing that I put in your heart, or you can keep drinking. And I chose FitCamp, and I thank God every day I did.
It's kind of funny how the thing that you built helped you after you helped so many people along the way.
Right. It sure did, dude. It sure did.
Well, and it's funny because, I think like we're talking about this and we're talking about businesses failing and 75% of businesses fail in their first year and yada, yada, yada.
Those I don't know if those are real statistics.
Right. 68% of statistics are made up on the spot.
Oh, wait a minute. But the thing that's interesting, and I think it reminds me to just the conversation we were having about college. I was never in college for college. I was there for the fun. I was there for the this. I was there for that. I was there for friends, and I was there for partying, and I was there for this. And it's like, neither one of you guys brought up in that entire time. You were talking about passion for the business. You were talking about helping people. You were talking about taking a sense of pride in what you've put in your heart and doing. And none of this was what I would consider to be the, like, I'm there to have fun. No mention was money, right? Like, you're not in it. I feel like that's such an important thing where money's great, right? And I think it's obviously an important factor and part of how the world goes around. But it's like, when your motivation is money, that dries, like, I feel like that dries up so fast. Like that motivation, the money's not there? Okay, I'm done. I don't care anymore. Where it's like for you guys and talking about this and knowing you guys as business owners is it's like you said, I'd rather this fail because it's about helping people. Right. And it's like, no matter what, I still got to help people. I still spent these years helping people, and hopefully I can keep doing it. Hopefully we can growing this, because the more we grow it, the more people we can help. But it's like that being the motivating factor, like that doesn't waver. That, like, you'll wake up at 4:00 in the morning and stay up until 2 to make sure that thing keeps on chugging. Where if it's just like, I wonder if I'm going to make this much money this year. Right. It starts to be like, I don't really care anymore. It's crazy how fast that motivation will go away. And so when we talk about businesses failing, it's like, back to what you said and what like Pastor Craig was talking about, is like, find a thing that lights you on fire. Find a thing that gets you up in the morning, and then find a way to make that a business, or find a way to like have that be the thing that supports your life. Because at the end of the day, the fire is what's going to keep you up every day. Yeah. It's not going to be the money that comes from it. The money that comes from it's cool, whatever.
Thank you, God.
Yeah, sweet.
But it's all God's money.
Right. And so when it's like finding those things that like truly light you on fire, like you're talking about, it's like that was more worth it to you than the things that you had struggled with and like been addicted to. It's like, that's a powerful message. Like how much helping people in FitCamp 180 lights you on fire. It's like, without that, it's like, no wonder businesses don't make it when you find some shallow thing to make a business about,
I'll never forget what God spoke to me. And he hasn't spoke a bunch of audible words, but I do have a good relationship with the Lord, and COVID hit. Okay. I signed the mortgage on my beautiful home in Edmond with my wife and my 4-month-old son on Friday the 13th, March 13th, 2020. And they shut it all down 2 days later. Okay.
Friday the 13th.
You could not have group fitness. You couldn't do this thing. And man, I just took this jog and walk with God. And I was like, God, what are we going to do? I just signed this mortgage. I paid $70,000 down because my credit wasn't great. And I did what I had to do to get this loan. And this is the house. And I felt like it was the thing. Man, God, what am I going to do? And I'll never, ever forget what he told me. And I remind myself of this all the time. He said, you take care of my kids and I'll always take care of you. You take care of my kids and I'll always take care of you. And man, as an entrepreneur, I'm sure Triad's crushing it, but there's some months, bro, that the money's not what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? There's some months that there is fear, and I never want to doubt in times of lacking what he told me on that walk. I always want to remember that I'm not here to be a billionaire. I'm here to help his kids. And if I'll help his kids, he hasn't let me go hungry yet. I haven't missed a mortgage payment yet. My kids wear nice clothes. My wife is well taken care of. And, no matter what, if I'll take care of his kids and I'll lead them towards God through fitness and be a good part of this community around me, if I'll just go out and do what I'm called to do, he will take care of me. If I'm sober and I'm faithful to my bride and I'm really, really doing it from a place of love, because we can get tracked onto money. Oh yeah. It can become about money that quick. That my biggest competitor, is for the root of evil is the love of money. It says that in the word, and it's real easy to do that. And I have to check myself and make sure, are your motives good for this chain breaker? Are you chain breaking to make a bunch of money here? Or are you chain breaking to help generations of people break those chains that held you down? You know what I mean? To make sure my heart and my motives are pure. And when they are, man, he pours out blessings I cannot contain.
And I think a big part of that too is people realize when you're doing it for the money.
Oh, you can't fake it.
You can't fake it. And so when you truly put your members, your customers, the people first, it's the money will come, because people will want to work with you when you put them first.
They can feel it. They can feel it. Oh, he just wants us to do another challenge. He needs more money and blah, 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 blah. And I've been guilty of that before. But when I get up early, boys, people are like, I'm in the 5 a.m. club. Bro, I'm in the 3 a.m. club every day. And I make sure I do that, bro, so that I can spend my time in the word. I start my day with God. I get to God before this world gets to me, so that my heart and my motives are pure. I wake up an untreated, selfish, cynical, alcoholic addict every day. And it takes intentionality and really giving my life and my heart to God every single day, so that I'm not just here's me and here's the world all around. How can I get more money? How can I get more members? How can I do the me? And I'll get to God. And I always say this prayer. I say, God, I offer myself to thee to do with me and build with me as thou will. Relieve me of the bondage of self so I can better do your will today. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them would bear witness to those I would help, of your power, your love, and your way of life. May I do your will only today, in Jesus' name. I say that every day without fail. I pray for God give me eyes for my wife and my wife alone. I'll train 100 sweaty chicks in a day and my eyes keep bouncing. I only find my wife attractive, and I do that through prayer. I'm an alpha type A man too. You know what I mean? God, please don't let me put anything in this body that would defile your temple or that would take me off my mission. God, keep me faithful and devoted to my bride. Help me to not cuss that much today. There's things I struggle with. I'm a Kiefer struggling. I'm a struggler, bro. And if without God, I will wreck FitCamp 180. And now it's not just mine. My reputation stands for Yukon and South Oklahoma City and my kids, Roman and Jed, and my beautiful wife. And there's so much in the balance, bro. There's so much hanging in the balance. And without God, I will burn that sucker down just like that homecoming float, dude. And I'll do it right on social media and everybody will see it.
It's funny how much it's not a flip of a switch either of, oh, don't care about money, care about the people and the money will come. It is a constant struggle, because daily you have to remind yourself to do this, because you will naturally, I think it's maybe, some people struggle with it less than others, but it's, for me, I know that is one thing that I have to constantly work towards and remind myself of. We have to put the people first. Is obviously we have to make enough to be able to pay our employees and pay our bills and whatnot. I have to make sure to take care of the team. But when we make decisions, it has to have the customer first. Otherwise, like you said, we'll burn it to the ground.
Absolutely.
It's one of those, this is something that I feel like has just been brought up a lot recently, at least with our conversations and even a conversation I had with Patrick today is like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And like, you start thinking like, oh, well, this is, I've got a good intention here. I've got a good intention there. And I know like one of the things that like, I think kind of just fell into our lap without even us necessarily thinking about it, but we like having additional safeguards along the way for us of like, we kind of silo some of the things up where it's like I am the person who's implementing like different strategies and things that we have when it comes to dealing with customers, customer service, building relationships, and like, don't let me look at the profit and loss.
Right.
Like, don't let me look at the P&L.
Hate it.
Don't let me look at it because like, that's Kevin. Kevin gets to look at that because as long as we keep that moat, that water between there, it's like, this can't infect that. Right. There is always layers of protection between it where it's like, nope, I'm going there to think on this. And like, no matter how far, like if Kevin's like, oh, I'm ripping my hair out, I don't know what we're going to do.
Don't need to hear it.
Right.
Keep that over there, dog.
Exactly. And it becomes one of those things where like, I think, we're in this business and it's very human, but like we're in this business and we're on this because we believe in Kevin and like his motives and what he's doing. And we're all a part of it. And so, but that doesn't mean that we're not human. That doesn't mean that these things that have, well, if we did do this, like this would help with this. And then we could help more people, but then you're like, no.
Let's get real.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. We start making excuses that can make sense and be very explainable, but it's like having those like additional safeguards, at least for us, and just kind of the small amount of time that it's kind of existed, is it's like, I think that's a beneficial thing because it's like, I can look at this with clear, like with a certain set of eyes. He can look at this with a certain set of eyes.
But in financial fear,
right,
buddy, everything gets foggy.
Everything gets real foggy.
We had a really good conversation last week that I think it explains this really well. And this has been the dynamic for quite a while, but I think it's exponentially that way now that Thomas has stepped into our general manager role. So he oversees the stores, customer service, employee training, all of that. So it was a conversation regarding employee training and tweaking things. And our goal is to always make sure that our staff is prepared and capable and willing to help as many customers as possible. And it's not something that comes naturally. You don't just get to, I step on the floor and automatically I'm this expert in supplements and customer service. It takes work, it takes effort. So there's a lot of training that goes into that. So now that he is the one that is primarily in charge of that, which he's always been very, very involved with that aspect. But now that he is primarily in charge, it works really well because I am the one that deals with our financial statements. I deal with the budgeting. I'm the one that's moving money around. And, when we've got, 8 pallets and $40,000 worth of protein coming in and I got to go make a wire transfer to that. And I'm looking at money coming in from the stores and I'm like, it's stressing me out. It can, like you said, make it cloudy. And so it was a really cool conversation regarding our customer service training, our employee training, where I said, hey, I think I'd like to generally kind of implement something in this regard or start to track these metrics or look at this, but I don't want to do that because if I do that, I'll make bad decisions because I also have to handle the budget and keep the company in good financial health.
That is so smart, bro.
That is my job. And so that makes me less capable of being able to make good decisions with our employee training. So I take, some of my beliefs and I pass them to Thomas. I'm like, hey, you have to take it from here because
here's the rough draft.
Here's the rough draft. Here's my thoughts, my general ideas. Pass it over to you. Okay, now he can take it and make good decisions for the long term of things, that he's not making short-term decisions to help pay for, the buku amount of money coming out sometimes for the crazy amounts of protein that we have to order. So.
And you guys have a great dynamic there. And even though I'm the founder and, I do license out Yukon and South Oklahoma City, bro, we're still a team. You know what I mean? And I know that my skill set is programming workouts, talking intensely and passionately, casting the vision. And, in 25, that's something we want to do as a family is make a trainer certification for FitCamp 180.
Love it.
And I'm totally going to utilize Brittany Allen is brilliant, bro. Brittany Allen is a hustling fitness love Jesus, good wife ninja. And her thing, man, is, and Stephanie Reed, Pastor Stefan's wife, they are systems, man. Stephanie is the systems. She is the know-how. Like if they just look at me and say, Shaun, put us together a trainer certification, I'm going to look cross-eyed at them and say, I'll get that to you by 2030. Like they are equal with me in their locations. They're such good leaders. That's why, because there's no way that one person can lead 2 FitCamp 180s. It is impossible. It just cannot happen. But I've got the best leaders at UConn. Brittany Allen, you just ask anybody, her reputation precedes her. She is one of the best leaders. She was a super duper 6-figure making sales lady, a recruit. And man, she was crushing it in life, worked her own hours remotely. And that's why she was able to train for me. And she bought into the vision, and they stepped in and did that. I am the only reason that place is there, sure, because of my vision and the workouts, is because she is a ninja bulldog. And Pastor Stefan and Stephanie Reed, I don't know how they do it in South Oklahoma City, because they lead a life church too. Whoa. Like that's big time, and they are grinding all the time. And we say, hey, Shaun, you've got 3 locations, man. I run Edmond. Those leaders are to be praised and put on the platforms that they deserve. They are the owners of those locations, and we're still a team. I need them. You know what I mean? I need them as much as they need me. And growing like that, there's 4 stages. There's the forming, which is the honeymoon. We got together. This is so great. Oh my God, we're gonna take over the world. Then there's the storming, where it's like, oh God, he's got an edge about it. That's crazy. We've put money involved. It's getting wild. Then there's the norming, where we're trying to work those kinks out, and then we get to performing. And I think that's where we're trying to step into, is that just performing zone, learning everybody's lane and what they do. When the Reeds came in, they brought some cool excellence to us. Like we used to, I would program the workout morning of, we put it on the board, and then the early trainers, we'd have the people set it up. The Reeds came in and were like, hey, we're from Life Church. Now I program the workouts. It was a week. I program them 30 days out. We cast that video to all trainers, and we set it up the night before. So when you come in, it looks like a symmetric, excellent, beautiful, clean thing ready to attack. You know what I mean? Brittany Allen, she put the hustle, you know what I mean? And if and when we do a 4th location, they will intern with Brittany Allen. She was doing pump in the park and social media posts and bragging on her people and different networking groups. Like she taught me, like, this is how you really turn this hustle on too. And so I fall short on words to tell you how brilliant and hardworking and excellent my UConn and South Oklahoma City owners are. And I just love them to death, man. I love them to death.
One, that's really cool. You found their strengths too, and the things that you might fall short on. That's one of my favorite parts of this, is finding things that other people are better at than me at, and getting to set them free and give them wings and be able to say, hey, you're going to be better at this than I am. Right. So like, you take care of this, you handle this. But man, the model that you set up as well of letting people essentially, I guess, I don't know if the term would be correct, but like franchise with you and open their own locations, man. I think that's really where you get members that are as bought in, because, seeing people, walk in every day for all the classes here, I get to watch everybody pull into the parking lot and go into the classes like almost every single day. They're all bought in, and not necessarily directly because of Brittany, but that's where it starts. Is there's someone that is
leader, man.
They love that leader, and that trickles down to all of the staff, all of the coaches, and all of the members, man. And I think having someone where if it was just you and you had separate coaches here, I think that could be a struggle. That's for sure.
Oh, it's impossible. I promise you, I believe that it would be impossible to lead one to the extent and with the detail and passion that one needs to be led. Like, there's just no way we can do it. And for Brittany Allen to say, no, I'm going to take this 6-figure salary and I'm going to go and be in Yukon, Oklahoma, and I'm going to crush over here. And I mean, there's just nothing that's going to stop that woman from success. Yep. And there's been many times she's like, so what can I do better, Buzz? And I'm like, nothing, dude. Don't change a thing. You keep rocking. And Pastor Craig has said it before. You can have control or you can have growth. And it was hard for me to let go of some of that control and trust other people with the mission. You know, they would change, you know, I'd have 100 hammer curls up there. Well, Brittany would put 50 on, and I wanted to have a talk about that. And now I know she knows her market and her members, and she knows what's best for her community. And to take that part of my ego and self down and trust my owner and you know, it is tough, but it's so rewarding in the end, and it's better that way. And who wants to say, hey, I'm going to own a FitCamp 180 and I need this guy micromanaging me with his thumb on me all day. And, you know, like we're stepping into that zone. I just know that they're running it right. You know what I mean? I know it's being handled right. And that,
from our perspective, again, we get to be right next door. If anything, if we can be the eyes and the ears for you, it seems like they're running things really well.
She's incredible, dude.
Yeah,
she's incredible, as are the Reeds. They're both incredible.
Man, one other thing that I have always really admired about FitCamp 180 for a couple of different reasons is the fact that you're not in a spot where you're competing to have the most equipment, the most machines, the most stuff. It's very simplistic, and I love that for so many reasons. Number one, from a personal standpoint, especially in a season of life right now where I'm doing a lot of garage workouts, and we have one set of adjustable dumbbells that goes up to 50. We've got a form of resistance cables, a couple of bands, and a bench. And that's what's in our garage. And I have figured out how to do most of my workouts with that, because especially with Riley at home and us caring for her 7 days a week, it is a lot of times easier to just jump in the garage and then go right back inside to help in, or even bring Riley out in the garage with me and hang out there. And it's I've done that one other time in my life, and it's always been really cool to really get creative with it. You can do so much with so little, and you get spoiled sometimes with a gym that's got a machine, a specific machine for every head of your tricep. And where I love those things, and I can nerd out on those all the time. And I love those machines. I love those gyms. I love the simplicity of FitCamp 180 for that reason, for that personal reason. From a business standpoint, though, I've always been a really big fan for so many reasons just within that, because you can replicate it. You don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment to open up a new facility. I think that especially for people that are like your chain breakers or newer to the fitness realm, it's a lot less intimidating when you don't have machines and big squat
cages
racks
and all that.
Cages. Yeah, exactly, man. When they get to walk in, and it's very simple. Are a couple of reasons that I've really admired of as someone that's learned a little bit about business. I've always really admired that. Like, that's really cool. That's a really good idea for a couple of different reasons.
Well, I'll tell you, I've done some research on it, and the top three things people choose a gym for. First one is equipment. I don't have it, bro. I just don't have it. We got dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, a pull-up bar, some boxes, and a mat. Okay. We don't have it. So if you're looking for good equipment and that's going to be your thing, you want really nice machines, you won't pick us. The second thing is cleanliness. We do the best we can. I'm in an industrial building, bro. Okay. We have
you
it
do a pretty
clean.
good job, man.
We do. All things considered, we are one of the cleaner ones, but I mean, compare us to a Lifetime. Like, you can't eat off our floors. That's for sure, bro. But the third one is the trainer vibe energy. Okay. And that one is the one we knock out of the park. When you come in, me, my owners, all my staff, we're going to know your name. We're going to love on you. We're going to turn the party up, and we're going to make this thing that is you know why people don't work out? Because it hurts. We're going to make this painful, grueling, sweaty thing, and we're going to make it a party, because we know when you love it, you tend to do more of it. And so that is the one of the three that we really, really try to knock out of the park. And I've been so blessed with the team and the staff, and specifically those owners and the party that they can create. And so, we don't have absolutely the cleanest place. It's one of the cleaner of the industrials.
Again, I've always thought it's very clean.
Yeah. For anybody I watch out there, we do the best we can. It's super clean. But really it's the party. It's the vibe. Yeah. It's the energy. It's the edited gangster rap with the cool people are like, it's dark and it feels like the lights are addictive. Okay, man, when I hit that switch and the beat drops and I'm spinning my rope and I pick the rocks up and a red light comes over me, dog, and I feel like I'm a ninja desert kickboxer out in the wilderness and I'm fighting people. I just go to that place, that zone, you know what I mean? And I don't need a big bright light where people can see me if I'm struggling, or they can see my stretch marks, or they can see this, or maybe I'm having a bad day and nobody's there to look at you. We're about our zone and getting a little bit better each and every day. The lights create the ambience and that warrior trigger, bro. The loud music, bro, I mean, I don't know how people don't do it without it. I want that thing to hit, and I want to feel that, and I want to get lost in that beat and that zone and that vibe. And when that trainer comes over and he gets right close to you and says, I see you today and you're pumping me up, man. I think you can go harder. I want you to know today, man, I'm proud of you and I love you. And everybody in here is pumped. Does anybody in here love Brittany Allen? Everybody's like, yo, we freaking love her. And we just keep ripping those things out. You know what I mean? It's that vibe, dude, that zone. Most people come in. This is what I saw at the gyms I would train at as a personal trainer. People come in at New Year's resolution time. They need to lose weight. They just had a kid. They don't like the person in the mirror. They get on that treadmill. There's this, people are on their favorite machine. They don't know how to operate this. They're embarrassed. There's mirrors everywhere. It's super bright. They don't want to look stupid. They didn't have a good experience. They don't know what to do. They get off that treadmill. They go home and they don't do it. Man, when you come in, you're going to be needed. You're going to be known. But the best thing I can do is introduce you to the zone. If you can get in the zone, bro, the zone's what's addictive. When you hit that beat of sweat breaks and that beat drops and you're pumped up and flexing and you're cranked up and it's you against the world, that zone, that I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So many people have never been in the zone. You know what I mean? They didn't play sports in school. They don't know what it means to drive. Man, if you can get them to that zone, maybe it's not FitCamp. I tell anybody out there, wherever you can go and find that zone and push yourself to the limit and have a party and get better, that's what you need to do, man. Fitness should be something that not necessarily just feels good and I'm stretching, but something at the end of it, man. I know that I pushed it to the edge and I had a good time doing it.
Yep.
It's, as somebody who has been on the receiving end of a Brittany shout, it will, and I'll just be out loading the SUV with boxes, and I'll kind of like, I'll be at an angle, and then all of a sudden I'll hear, let's get a shout out for Thomas the Train.
Yes.
And the whole gym erupts, just cheers for me. And I'm like, oh, hi. Like,
you start throwing boxes.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
And I'll even pump my support trainers up. I'll be like, does anybody love Chelsea Dodson here? And everybody's like throwing their kids at them and stuff. And there's so much love and encouragement. And I have a couple people that I can say their name. I'll say that we have a girl named Christy Reed. I call her Rita. I'll say, hit him one time, Rita. And she goes, wow. It lights that room up. You know what I mean? And we're all there and we know we're fixing to get it on. It's over in 40 minutes. Give me the best 40 minutes of your day, man. And you get to that zone, you get healthy. You've taken care of your fitness. You put your oxygen mask on. You've met with God. You've had a sweet little motivational devotional and prayed. And on your way out, you can grab a little shake. You've taken care of so many things by 5:45 a.m. that most people won't even get done all day.
That's such a rewarding feeling, such a motivating, like you're productive. It's love it. And as someone that has worked out consistently for, gosh, I think 14 years now. My own experience with FitCamp 180, where I definitely pride myself on, getting myself in the zone and being able to push myself like personally just on my own, like jumping in a FitCamp 180 workout. I'm just like, the music gets going, dude. And the person next to you starts running a little faster than you're running. You're like, shit, man.
I'm not going to slow down if you're not.
Yeah. It's motivating, man. It's fun.
No, it is. And I still take the medicine and do the class. Okay. Like today I came in and did the workout upper ripper I was telling you about. As the owner, and the founder of this company, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to win, dude. We're going to throw it down, dude. And you know, I used to, for 12 years, dude, nobody could touch me. I was the big dog. And now at 46, you know, a couple people may slide by me, you know, but that good, healthy, competitive spirit is alive and well inside of me, as to where I can go to a Planet Fitness or a 10 gym, and I'm just going to do what I feel comfortable doing. When I'm in there and Thomas is in there and we're cranking and the board says we're going to do, you know, 100 bicycle crunches and 5 deck rolls, you know, we're not doing 90 and 4. I'm going to make sure his reps are on point. And if you can keep going, brother, I can keep going. And at the end, we'll hold a plank together and I'll say, look at your partner and tell him you're proud of him. And I'll proud of you. Say, I can keep going if you can keep going. I can keep going, bro. I got more left. You know, you just get more out of that 40 minutes than I would an hour and a half by myself at another gym.
You end up high-fiving people you don't even know. You're like, what did I like? I didn't even like plan to do that.
Everybody's best friends, you know, they didn't even have them a year ago. You come to FitCamp 180, your whole circle will change because we have like-minded people that love you where you're at, that really want you to succeed, that love God, that want to be healthy and fit, and that aren't perfect. Imperfect, beautiful people that fit together like this perfect puzzle, man. And it's crazy.
Well, and that's the thing, you like we haven't even really touched on until now, like the camaraderie that comes from overcoming those, you know, blow your hair back, rip your face off kind of workouts. Like, you know, there is something to being in the trenches together that just builds such camaraderie. I remember one of my big goals for my bachelor party was like, I have a lot of friends that I'm really close with, and some of them know each other and some of them are, you know, just more like acquaintances. And my bachelor party we had in Salt Lake City, and I'm like, oh, by the way, like we're climbing a mountain. And when I say we're climbing a mountain, I don't mean like we're going for a little jog. Like
I've got the picture on my back.
We are climbing a mountain.
Bro. You can see a golf course at the bottom where we started.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
how high up was that?
So you end up at about just under 11,000 feet. God. So you do in what the elevation change that you do in the 23-mile rim to rim Grand Canyon, you do over 4 miles.
Wow.
So it's about like this. Yeah. Like the whole
You're climbing.
Yeah. Like you will literally climb on your hands and feet sometimes. And when we got off of that mountain, and we're sitting in a Sonic, like little like seating area, drinking Route 44, like whatever. It's like that was my closest group of brothers I've ever had in my life. Yep. And it's just, there's something to that like, no matter what, like we'll always have that. We'll always have that forever. And it's like, anytime that group is ever even kind of back together, it's, man, you remember this, you remember that, like every time.
My circle, which I keep tight, my really close circle, there's nobody in it that doesn't work out. Bro, there's just not. Right. If you want to be in my world, you need to earn it. I need to grind with you, bro. Let me see your heart. Right. Let me see your grind. Let me see your drive. Let me see your strength. Can I count on you when things get tough?
Right. Where's
your
fail
you push
point?
me? Yeah, where are you at, dude? Can you push it to failure? Because that's who I ride with.
You're on just a little bit different wavelength if you're not though. So and not to, you know, speak ill or anything of anybody, but like it's just, you know, it's harder to vibe with somebody that isn't that doesn't have that as part of their routine.
If you don't know, you don't know. And once you know, you can never not know.
Right. You know what I mean? That was the best part. And the thing about the mountain that I love so much is ain't no tapping out.
No, you're here, bro.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Around?
Yeah, right, what are you going to do? Like, this is a mountain.
We need a helicopter, dude, bro.
We got hailed on. Like we're up there.
We almost didn't get hailed on because the cloud almost went underneath us. We're so high up.
There's at one point where we saw the helicopter and you could see the top of the helicopter from where we were. And like, we're getting hailed on and we're eating these like tortillas with buffalo sauce and then like chicken cubes that had come from some pack from Costco. And that was the greatest tasting meal I've ever had in my, because we're sitting up on this ridge, just gorgeous all around. And you've just been climbing and climbing. And it's like, you know,
we made it.
And nobody can, not that anybody would have, but it's like nobody can give up.
No, you can't tap, bro.
Right. There's no tapping. And it's like we made sure everybody was prepared as much as we could and like had all the gear. But it's like this is gonna bring us tug. And like, you know, the rest of it's just like, bro, just smiles, like everybody just having the best time. And it's like, and then in my wedding, like we're all back together again. And it's like having all those guys back together. You have something that nobody else around, like, oh, I've got something with you.
It's sacred.
Even if you just like, you know, like I've got a buddy, Zach, who's gotten really close with like the rest of my group of friends because of the trips like that.
That was the first time I met Zach.
Yeah. It's like you see Zach at the wedding and it's like you and Zach got something nobody else here has,
right.
You know, and there is something to that I think can go like underappreciated when you are in the trenches. And don't get me wrong, it is the trenches. When you're over getting your face ripped off at one of those workouts, like when you finish that, it's why you're high-fiving strangers, because you're brothers, you're your family now. It's the same thing I tell people, like, nothing gets me closer to a human I don't know than rolling with them in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
I have dudes who, like, we competed against each other one time 3 years ago. Homeboy still likes all my, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, there is just something, I could reach out to that guy today and we could run into each other. What's up, dude? Like, there's like a level of camaraderie and just something that happens of just like experiencing something like that together.
The bond of the grind. You know, one of my best friends, his name's Ryan Huffman of Beyond Theory Creative, just amazing marketing company. But he turned 42 yesterday. Now, most people on their 42nd birthday, they want to have a cake, they want a present, they want their family around. Dude, we met at FitCamp and I programmed him a workout called 42 the hard way. And it started, you know, one of us on the bike, the other one hit 6 plates, then I hit 6, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is equals 42. And then we hit 42 ground to overheads. We closed with 42 toe bars, 42 second, 10 mile an hour sprints. Like he and his wife and me and my wife, we're up there just cranking it out, bro. Mm-hmm. And like at the end of it, we all laid there in a pool of our own fluids.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
It was like, I allow you to turn 42, brother. You know, I married my wife in FitCamp 180.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And our groomsmen and the bridesmaids, we consummated it with a rip. Immediately we worked out. It was like, I kiss you, hit the lights, get on the treadmill, and we consummated it with a workout. That's how sacred it is to us, to me and my wife and my circle and my crew. Mm-hmm. Man, what are we doing after we work out? It doesn't matter until we get our rip on, whether it's a birthday, Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving. What are we doing after the workout? Because we know we're throwing down.
I think the best way to look at it is it's a reward. It's not a punishment. It's not a task that you have to do throughout the day.
It's a celebration of life, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can't wait. Like it's so funny because, you know, and obviously like me talking about like doing jiu-jitsu, it's like, you know, it is the only time and almost every day of the week I get up way earlier than I need to, because like jiu-jitsu makes me want to get up. I'm excited to go. It is not something that I'm, oh man, like I don't have to hit the snooze on jiu-jitsu days. I'm up before my alarm. Let's go. Like, let's go get ready. You know, got my little routine. I'm going to, you know, do this. I'm going to go make my little greens and creatine and hydrate. And then, and I'm like, I'm going to be ready to go. This is going to be awesome. It's just, like Kevin said, it's like when you can find, and I think that's a challenge that I think people come across is they've never associated working out as a reward. Right. And they've never maybe found it. Maybe, you know,
the zone.
Like, yeah.
They've never found the zone.
Right.
You have to find what you enjoy.
Right. And once you find that thing, it's like, oh, this isn't working out anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is
dude, it's a way of life.
I would do this if it didn't have the workout benefits.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I just do it because I love it. It's a blast.
Right. Well, Shaun, I think we've been at it for over 2 hours now.
Well, I had a good time, dude. That was effortless. Man, I thank you guys so much. Thomas, this is how I really got to know you, was in this podcast. And man, I was a wrestler all through school. I'd love to roll with you sometime. I don't know much about it. I know wrestlers usually get tapped out pretty quick, but dude, I invite myself to come roll with you sometime. Anytime. And I hope you guys will have me back after a season of time. I'd love to come on, and anything that my I'm excited to partner with you on this BFS challenge. And, you know, for me to say, hey, I trust you with the meal plan, that's me saying, hey, I love you. I trust you with my kid. And so
we don't take that lightly because we know how much that trust could be taken advantage of, man. And I hope you know that we have taken it ultra seriously. I know I've texted and called you about a number of different questions to make sure that they work for you and your people, and they're catered exactly to how you want to run this challenge to be run. I've been working with Brittany. They're going to be perfect. They're going to be immaculate. I'm excited for them.
Yeah. Well, it's an honor to partner with you on this, and just congratulations on, I believe, the #1 nutrition and supplement store in the state of Oklahoma, and I hope it grows way beyond that. You guys deserve every good thing that's coming for you, and it's been an honor to be on this podcast this evening.
Yeah, this was a blast, man. It was funny, real quick, talking about the day. Like, he called me whenever he found out that we were gonna, like, giddy, like so excited just to do it, because like I know him and I have even gone back and forth on just talking about it and just like going through having this. We're gonna have this. This is gonna be so great. This is gonna be so awesome. We'll work on this and work on that. It's like, man, it's like, you know, the excitement is matched. We are right there with you. Like, we cannot wait to be involved in this in any capacity at all. Just to be there and like see the things you're doing, and just to, again, praise and love on you for the lives that you guys are, the lives you're changing, and the lives you've changing others. Like, that's the thing. Like, you talk about the generations, man. You know, when we talk about the years of life you've added, we're not even counting next generations, right? And that's the thing that's so cool. And man, your mission, and like, it speaks for itself, but your excitement and just how it lights you on fire, man. It's like, it's truly incredible to watch you, because it is something that, like, you can tell, you can see it. We talked about like authenticity, and like, you can tell when somebody's doing it for this and doing it for that. And it's like, man, it's in your bones, like why you want to do this and how you're doing it. It's awesome, man. I love getting to see it. I love seeing the FitCamp 180 stickers and the shirts and everything I see around town. Like, it always, especially getting close with like Brittany, and she's an incredible person. Like, they are so wonderful. All the members over there, man, like you can tell who somebody is as an owner by the members and the people that they're there, right? Like, because those people, like, if I didn't know a thing about you and I knew Brittany loved you, I'd love you, because I know her, right? And it's just something about, like, she's not associating with somebody who, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing that happens with the members. Like, if the members didn't love her, they wouldn't be there, or the other people around. And so the community and thing that you're building and have helped build and help other people build, man, it's awesome. And I'm just proud to have you on the podcast and get to know you better, all that kind of stuff, man.
Bring it in. Bring it in for the real thing, you big hunk. I want a teddy, Thomas the teddy bear.
You're awesome, bro. This was great, dude.
You're amazing.
Appreciate you, buddy.